Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
I'd like to apologize in advance to absolutely nobody. This is going to be an old school Let's Talk Jets show. I'm in a mood tonight. I got 2 weeks worth of anger to get off my chest. So, Tyson, how you doing?
I mean, we'll start with Oscar the Grouch volunteering to be our offensive coordinator. That seems
might as well add him to the list. I mean, we're interviewing anybody. So,
well, hello everybody. Long time no talk. I've missed everybody. It's been interesting times. If you watch social media and Jets Twitter, it's always fun. So, Primetime is interesting, man, because it's like Groundhog Day. Yep. This team is like Groundhog Day, right? Like
rinse, wash, repeat.
Right. And you look at it's like we're looking for an offensive coordinator. We're looking for a quarterback. You're watching the Giants win. You're watching Trevor Lawrence play well. You're watching all these things. It's like kicking the balls at the kicking the balls at the kicking the balls. And it's funny. It's to the point now, I think that Afram actually reached out to me. And he's like, bro, are you okay, man? Are you like depressed or something? I'm like, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. Like, I'm tired of being here.
I'm depressed. I'm annoyed. I'm impatient. Even though Woody says, we're not tired of being told that we're close, which was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm every negative emotion that you could possibly imagine, just as far as questioning the entire direction of this franchise right now.
But I have good news for you.
Oh, that's good.
For the second time in a week, the New York Jets have called me and offered me season tickets.
Oh, they're probably offering you my seats that I've officially given up.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call them back, but on camera. So I'm going to film my conversation with them. So when you're going to hear the conversation and all the questions I ask her as she tries to sell me tickets with a team with no quarterback and no coordinator.
This is going to be great. Now they're going to be expecting it, though. So they're going to be all professional and shit. But they're not going to sell you a bunch of lies like they did with the PSLs when they told you, you'd have exclusive access to all these concerts and WrestleMania and everything else that you never got. Playoff tickets, whatever.
Second call in a week and a half that they're calling that offer me tickets. So now I'm going to call back. I think it's time for me to call back. I'll just film it all and we can all watch it together, how this all plays out. But, it's tough because this team, it's like you have a owner that is desperate for good headlines and to make money and sell tickets. You have a general manager that is trying to manage for his job. You have a coach that's trying to coach for his job. And you're going to try to hire people and find a quarterback. It's not ideal, dude. And let's be honest, I'm going to be negative as shit tonight. And if you don't like it, don't watch. Because
I'm going to be worse than you, so you're going to be fine.
It's hard. Like, yes, like we could talk about Lamar Jackson. We could talk about Derek Carr. We could talk about all these things. First and foremost, will the Jets be willing to pay them, which is going to be big time money, especially Lamar Jackson guaranteed money? Yep. Secondly, it's like what compensation you're going to give up to get them if you're going to do up the trade thing. Then the other thing is do they want to actually come here? Because the Sean Payton interview resonated with me so well when he's talking about stability, ownership, coach, quarterback, all these things. The New York Jets, as they currently stand, are not a reputable organization. They just had another meltdown. So whether you feel about Saleh or not, dude, it's like you're coming here, you're taking a risk if you're a coach or a quarterback, because there's a chance if things don't go well next year, the staff's all getting fired. That's just a fact.
Yeah, there's too many uncertainties. There's too many intersecting timelines. A head coach on the hot seat, a GM that in theory has to make a move for a win now quarterback. But, part of his plan, I remember it very clearly from 2 years ago. Part of the plan was win while paying or not paying your quarterback while having a rookie quarterback under contract. So that was part of the plan. And that's part of the reason that there's so many of these ridiculous contracts that we have, like Uzama and Tomlinson. Like you go through some of the cap numbers, there's a reason that right now the Jets are in the red. I know they have plenty of money for next year, but right now they have absolutely no cap space. So this is where you're starting to get into that dangerous territory where you're restructuring contracts. You're pushing money towards future years to try to create some cap space for this year to try to win now. And then if you do sign a quarterback, does he fit the offensive coordinator that you signed? I mean, you can almost make an argument that they should wait on the offensive coordinator, see what quarterback you get first, and then find a system that matches, right? Yeah, if you sign an offensive coordinator and then, you think you could get Derek Carr, but you can't get him, but you can get Lamar Jackson, but he doesn't fit the offensive coordinator you just signed, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, and well, the thing is too, there's a timeline for everything, because the Derek Carr thing is 3 days after the Super Bowl is over, but the Lamar Jackson thing could play out till March 7th because the Ravens could slow play it and be like, you know what, now we're going to franchise tag him. So so just saying in theory, the Jets are like, you know what, Lamar Jackson's our guy. Okay, Derek Carr goes to wherever, the Buccaneers. Tom Brady should not be in this conversation at all tonight. Please do not mention Tom Brady. He'll never be a Jet. Should never be a Jet. Fuck that. We need long-term answers, not a 1 year whatever.
I would take anybody that gives me a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl.
It's not him. So it's going to say, just say you say, you know, we're all in Lamar Jackson. Okay, Derek Carr goes sign somewhere else. Jimmy Garoppolo goes somewhere else. Then it comes down to Lamar Jackson. Okay, we're going to try to trade all this stuff. Then he goes to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Then what? Okay.
We're going to break out the Baker Mayfield circus.
And that's part of the problem. And that's part of the problem right now. Unless you have a prominent offensive coordinator, you're talking about two completely different systems that you would need if you get Carr versus if you get Lamar Jackson. So that's a decision. I mean, I would have no issue if they waited on it, because all the names that you're hearing, the Kevin Patullos and the Darrell Bevels, does anybody really get you excited from that list? Todd Duncan, maybe?
Let's just clear this up real quickly.
Yeah.
If you don't have proven NFL play calling experience, you should not be offered this job. Plain and simple, dude.
That's who you're interviewing, though.
But dude, you can't hire a first-time offensive coordinator. You can't.
Who else is taking the job?
I'll tell you what. If they do that, that means Saleh has assurances for 2 more years. That's what it has to mean, dude. You can't know it's Saleh. Let's go with another first-time staff underneath you to see how that goes. And then if it does, well, you know, then you have a built-in. Oh, well, it's the first year of putting our offense in, and we're figuring things out. Learning curve. No. Wipe out all the excuses. You bring in a proven guy, and the problem is, will a proven guy want to come here when he knows the coach is on the hot seat? And the only way you're gonna get a proven guy to come in here is you got to pay him above market value, and you got to make him assistant head coach. It's so funny reading social media. Oh, we should get Frank Reich. We should get Monk, and we should get this. They ain't fucking coming here.
Bingo.
Because you're not going to pay them, and they're not going to come to a coach on a hot seat. They're not going to do it.
And they don't even know who the quarterback is. There's no assurances that you're going to get Carr or Lamar Jackson.
You got to sell them a vision.
You might be selling them recreating Zach Wilson in a competition with Mike White and Gardner Minshew. That might be your 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and would you want that? Would you want that?
Exactly. No.
But prime time, this is like the people that everybody wants. These are guys that this is their next job. You're gonna bank your career on 1 year at the Jets with Zach Wilson? No. So Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh got to promise you, we're gonna get you Carr or Lamar Jackson, whatever. We're gonna get you one of these top guys. That's what you got to build your offense around. But the thing is, Lamar Jackson is a very specialized quarterback. That offense is going to be significantly different than a Derek Carr offense, right? Or am I just crazy?
No, totally right.
It's wild, dude. It's so wild right now.
And that's what brings me back to like the whole firing of LaFleur. Like to me, this is the Jets being completely reactionary. Like this wasn't them identifying a problem, being decisive and saying, all right, you know, LaFleur was the problem, we're firing him. They wouldn't even say that he was fired. They didn't even want to make the decision.
Well, no. Let's be honest. What they wanted to do, they wanted to make everything seem like, oh, you know what? He's wanted so more. Like they didn't want to hurt feelings. They want to have this positive perception. Like everybody wanted Mike LaFleur, but you know what? It's like we want them. It's just so like whatever, dude. We know what it is.
You really think that's what happened?
No. The Jets.
The way that Saleh was talking, he did not want to fire him as of Monday after the Dolphin game, in my opinion.
No, he's coming to saying, like, you know what, like Mike LaFleur went to him and said, listen, man, everybody wants me out. This is becoming uncomfortable for all of us. I'll walk away. You could say we walked away, and we'll just all move on because this is ugly. They want a scapegoat. They want heads, which is fine. I don't even care. The fact of the matter is the offensive staff was a mess.
But they didn't even have the balls to do it, though.
Well, that's what they always do.
It took LaFleur either going to them or them just actually getting the phone calls. It's ass backwards.
Dude, Aaron Wilson had the story.
This isn't a plan that they're
at 10 o'clock
right
in the
now.
morning. He had the story first thing in the morning, and the Jets spent the rest of the day trying to figure out how to sugarcoat it and make it sound better than it was.
It took another 8 hours until it actually broke.
Right?
Yeah.
You fired your coordinator. It's okay to say that. You failed. Let's state what Saleh did. On offense, you guys have failed. You brought an inexperienced staff. Your quarterback regressed. Now you have no quarterback, and you have no offense. Welcome to the Jets. Meanwhile, the team across town is doing quite fine. And their first year of the rebuild.
Yeah. No weapons.
Like,
not his quarterback, no problem.
And it's just, you know, like And I hate being like this, but sometimes you just got to call it what it is. Like everybody wants to embrace all the positive shit and all this and everything else. But the bottom line is this team is in a really desperate situation. They're desperate to sell tickets. They're desperate for an offensive coordinator, and they're desperate for a quarterback. And when it's situations like this, it usually never ends up well because we've been here before. Yep. You start chasing names, you start chasing things, and stupid shit happens. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't have a lot of confidence in what's going on here. You see the names of the offensive coordinators. Half of them I just laugh at. The tight ends coach from the Patriots. Give me a break. To me, it's going to be Bevel. I think that's the only guy that'll probably – he's got ties to Sal. That's probably the only guy that's going to come here. And everybody else can be like, no.
Been here before.
Right. Nobody, dude, Monken's not coming here. There's nobody. Frank Reich isn't coming here. You have guys that they're interviewing for head coach positions. They're going to say, you know what? Let me go to the Jets for 1 year and take a chance on that team. With everybody, desperate to win games. Not happening.
This sucks.
So, and then just going into the quarterback thing, and it's right. You're figure out if you can get the quarterback before you get the coordinator, that would help out a lot. But there's, it's only a matter of time, dude. These guys are gonna start signing places. They're gonna start, you can't sit around and wait,
And they also have to formulate a plan for what they want to do, as far as the rest of free agency. They don't have a ton of cap space. They have a lot of space for next year. Like I was saying, I mean, they can probably restructure a couple of deals to, free up some space this year. They could release, Corey Davis, Berrios, possibly Lawson too. But they don't have a ton of space. Like they don't technically have any space right now.
Yeah,
so if you're talking about paying a quarterback, $30 million though, any restructures or cuts that you make, that's a good portion of that right there. So
Todd Monken is making $2 million at the University of Georgia. You're going to pay him what, $3 million, make him assistant head coach, and give him and let Saleh give him more power? Not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Not. And is Darrell Bevel the answer? I mean, you got to figure of all the candidates they have, I want a guy that's got play calling experience, and that could actually maybe help with time management and game management with Saleh. I mean,
how many of the guys that they've interviewed though have actual play calling experience though?
Two.
The former Colts offensive coordinator and
yep.
Yeah. So
it's not a lot, dude. And some of the names, and it's funny. It's like, Byron Leftwich is out there now, which is an interesting name, depending on what you think of him. But there's not going to be a perfect candidate, dude. One thing I know with Jet fans, no matter who you hire, that you're going to piss off half the fan base anyway. But there's no perfect quarterback. There's no perfect coordinator. And this is what happens when you're a team that's in the position the Jets are in. So it's frustrating, man. Like the whole Jets thing just frustrates me. Like even doing streams like this, because people aren't going to want to hear my bullshit. Because I'm old, dude. I'm old and I've seen this before. And I know how this normally works out. And I don't have faith in Woody Johnson. And I don't know with Joe Douglas, when he's desperate, what he's going to do. Because they're desperate. Let's call it what it is. They're desperate. Their owner just came out and said, we need a quarterback. I'm willing to spend whatever it takes to get him. Okay.
Yeah, he left no excuses for Joe Douglas not to get it.
Yep.
And that's really the missing piece, right? If they're trying to sell us, that last year, if they had a quarterback that was a playoff team, all right, go get your quarterback now.
Don't give up a bunch of draft picks that could potentially make this team better in the future for a quarterback in Lamar who hasn't really won anything in the postseason. Carr is by far the best choice, is from James.
I mean, are we comparing it like Carr while keeping all your draft picks versus what it would take, I guess, to get Lamar Jackson and not have those extra possibly 2 first-round picks, I guess?
I guess that's the kind of
I'd still take Lamar, but that's just me.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, you're probably looking at 2 first-round picks, right?
I would think at least, right?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Do you want to do that?
Plus, you're still paying him $40 million a year or more.
Love your show, but I don't believe LaFleur had other job offers lined up, and that was case part was made up. He was fired. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The Jets beat likes to stir up things. How many interviews has Mike LaFleur had so far? Hot guy, all these teams want. Have you heard about any interviews yet?
My big thing is, why would Saleh answer the question on Monday that the team was going to bring in a veteran offensive assistant?
That was stupid too.
But if he knew that there was even a chance that LaFleur was going to get fired, he's a smart guy. He wouldn't answer that question if he knew LaFleur was going to get fired.
But dude, here.
So something changed from when the season ended on Sunday to when Saleh talked on Monday to the 48 hours afterwards when LaFleur actually got fired.
Yeah, somebody
was it Woody Johnson?
No, it was. You know what it was? It was the entire fan base reminding Saleh that you didn't score a touchdown in 3 goddamn games.
And if that's the reason he fired LaFleur, then that's even worse.
I mean, dude. But you know what I understand?
However they came about the decision, the point I'm trying to make, right or wrong, however they came about the decision, it's ass backwards. Something,
of course,
something went awry. This wasn't part of their plan. Yeah, this
He
wasn't
did,
part of
dude.
their plan.
He did things that other guys with the Jets would have been fired for. Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, the same shit they did to get fired, Saleh did this year. You lost the season 6 games in a row. And for the people that think I want Saleh fired, dude, I don't even give a shit if he stays or not. He's got one more year. He's going to be gone. I don't think it's going to be a good year this year. But the fact of the matter is you lost 6 games in a row. The problem when you hire a defensive-minded coach, the most important thing is the guys you hire on offense. Perfect example. Brian Daboll, offensive-minded guy. You know what he did on defense? He hired Wink Martindale. Saleh, a defensive-minded guy, hired all these inexperienced people. And I understand the passing of Greg Knapp. Greg Knapp wasn't the fucking coordinator. The coordinator he hired was inexperienced. The quarterback coach he got was inexperienced. You're only as good as the other side of the ball. He's not good there. So now this year, third year, you're starting all over again. That's crazy, dude.
And they still had a chance this year to sign somebody else,
and that's the problem, dude.
I could understand, in Zach's rookie year, they still brought in John Beck. They had like 3 different coaches with him on the sideline during most of that year. That's fine. Going into year 2, when he clearly had a lot of work to do,
they doubled down. You know what happened was? So listen, they
didn't want too many voices in his ear. That's what Saleh said.
But
right?
Here's the problem. This is where Saleh contradicted himself, because year 1, the offense was a bona fide mess with Zach. Zach was a complete mess. They went out and got Matt Cavanaugh, and they hired Beck, his quarterback coach. Now he had 4 coaches on the sideline. So there was clearly a problem. So you needed a veteran voice because you don't have one there. In year 2, what do? They get rid of 2 coaches, don't add that veteran assistant coach because they were arrogant. They thought they could handle it themselves. And guess what? They were wrong. Completely wrong. That's on Saleh. That's on Joe Douglas. When they look at the team, you know what? Do we need more on offense? Do we need this? Do we need that? Yes. But they didn't do it. And here you are now in year 3, still trying to figure it out. And now a year 3 where it's you got to go to the playoffs or you're going to get fired. And rightfully so. Because this rebuild can't be 4 years. It can't be. They have too much talent to be this bad now. Like you've got to win 10 games next year.
And there's too many teams that figure it out in year 1, year 2. I mean, Joe Douglas inherited a team that was 7-9. That's what, like a 430 or something winning percentage? He hasn't reached that since. This year they were 7-10. First 2 years they won 2 games and 4 games?
Tyson, would you fire Mike Vrabel? They had the same collapse as us. How many games has Mike Vrabel won in the playoffs? Oh, how many division championships?
How many years in a row has he been in the playoffs?
And all the injuries they're dealing with, man. They were starting backup quarterbacks, all kinds of shit, and they're still playing very competitive football. His success is volumes ahead of Robert Saleh. It's apples and oranges. And Kingsbury, everybody wants Cliff Kingsbury. He's not coming here. No. There's no way. Like it's like we have like fantasy land.
Going back to college. Why would he take an offensive coordinator job right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm frustrated, man. It's like you want to have all these. I understand like your perfect world of getting all these great coordinators and the best quarterback. I don't know, man. And the thing is, will the Jets give Lamar Jackson a Deshaun Watson kind of contract? Will they go all that guaranteed money? Will they do that?
I think they would. But when you look at the rest of the cap,
the first time Woody Johnson's done that. What's the last monster contract Woody Johnson's done?
I still think they would do it just because they're so desperate for a quarterback. But at least for the next year or 2, I mean, part of the plan, like I said, was to build around Zach and to not pay the quarterback. So when you've got all these contracts on the books that they really can't get out from this year, other than Davis and Lawson, that's a problem if you're trying to pay a quarterback $30 or $40 million a year.
Yep. So we'll do is we'll bring on callers, man. You guys want to call in? You can see what kind of mood I'm in. Prime time look like he's raring to go. He's all angry as shit. So
I've been keeping this in for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and like you try to I understand the world of content creators. You got to keep things whatever and not go off the rails. But I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's why I'm not making videos. I'm not gonna make a video for the tight end coach of the Patriots. I think it's fucking ridiculous. And Florida was incredible, man. I had the best time in South Beach, man. Beautiful weather, great time.
How was the game?
I mean, dude, seriously, one of the worst football games I've ever seen. Like you're sitting there watching, like thank God for beer, man, and the weather, because it's like you're sitting there watching gross football. It was horrendous.
Good seats you had though.
Yeah, phenomenal seats, great beer, great weather, great company. Terrible game, awful.
Any takeaways watching Saleh on the sideline, or any of the players' body language, anything?
It was just a joke, dude. You could see it, just
just demoralized. That's what I figured.
I was so pissed. I was calling for Zach Wilson. Like, put Zach Wilson in. It couldn't be any worse than Flacco, right? Like, and you're sitting there, you're watching like Zach sit on the sidelines and stuff. I'm like, there's a number 2 pick in the draft. They're scared to play in a game where they can't even score. I think they're struggling to score field goals. right? You're sitting, you're watching. I'm like, this is laughable. We're to the point they were scared to play him when Flacco couldn't get out of his own way.
I think that had more to do with the offensive line missing 3 starters. They just didn't want to get him killed going into the offseason. But
They don't want him here in the offseason. It's just to like we want to see him get a reset. We want to see him go read books and go to the beach. Like what?
That was amazing. Go read a book.
Oh my God, dude. Some of this shit you just can't make up, man. You can't make it up. And like I said, I'm old as shit. So I've been through it several times before. To me, it's like Groundhog's Day because a team, they're desperate.
This is like the 4th or 5th rebuild in a row that we've been through. I mean,
and the most crucial thing, offensive coordinator and quarterback. Yeah, and this is fair. You got to pay Lamar 5 years, $250. He's going to want a huge, huge contract. And he's earned it. He's one of these. That's
former MVP. That's what he's going to get paid.
Tyson, yes or no? Do you trust? Do you trust me? I wouldn't trust me.
Do I trust the process? No.
The process I don't trust. I don't. They've got a lot to prove, man.
Right now, you can. I mean, they might get lucky and find a way to get a quarterback and an offensive coordinator in here, and that might ultimately be the missing piece. But you look at the rest of the roster, and I'm not feeling inspired. You got a nice young core to build around, but a lot of bad contracts on the books right now.
What type of contract could we offer Matt Ryan? How about none? Let's not offer him a contract.
How would
Tyson, yes or no? Do you trust Mekhi Becton to be starting left tackle next year? I don't give him the job. I let him compete for it. I'm glad he lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. That's wonderful.
The bigger problem is obviously you want to take it year by year, and I would appreciate if he was healthy next year. But even if he is, one, are you picking up his 5th-year option, which I think it would be due in a couple months, right? They'd have to make the decision on that. So the answer is going to be no. They're not going to pick that up.
Nope.
So then if he does have a good year, do you trust giving him a long-term contract?
Nope.
Answer is going to be no. So I mean, at best, he's healthy in training camp, maybe plays a few games, and then you trade him. I mean, like, what's his long-term future with the Jets? You can't trust him with a long-term deal. So.
And that's why he's going to come in the best shape of his life. He's playing for a contract.
Exactly.
It's not, I mean,
yeah. He's probably happy that they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option.
It's just.
If he has one healthy year, I'm sure somebody's going to pay him.
Let's see. We got it. Who's your preference for OC and quarterback?
I'll throw out a name for you that I haven't heard just to spice it up a little bit. I don't think he would take the job, especially because he's been talked about for head coaching jobs. But how about Josh McCown?
I mean, he's highly talented. Everybody loves the guy, but he hasn't called plays.
That's what I'm saying though. If he's not able to get a head coaching job because he doesn't have the experience,
make him the quarterback coach. Fire Calabrese.
If we're going to go the direction of somebody that doesn't have experience, I would trust Josh McCown, who's at least calling plays in the huddle.
I'm not going down that path. I will not. I'm not. I'm not.
That's who they're going to sign. They're going to sign the Eagles quarterback coach, or that's the direction this is going, dude.
If they do that,
it's going to be somebody's quarterback coach. Watch, I'm telling you.
If they do that, that means Salah's been told he has 2 more years. That's the only way you could justify it. How you're going to have an unproven coordinator or win now team with a defensive minded coach?
Because that's all they can bring in.
Oh,
they're not going to have any choice.
So who's your preference at quarterback?
I mean, are we talking about realistic options or who I would take?
No, let's go fantasy land, Pronto. Let's get fucking trade for Justin Herbert while we're here.
Talking like Lamar Jackson options like that. I mean, him or Aaron Rodgers would be like my 2 if they were possible, but I don't think those are realistic.
No.
I'd be okay with Carr, depending on what they would have to pay him. And then after that, there's really nobody that I'm interested in. I mean, Minshew, Tannehill, like none of those guys really inspire me. So.
Mayfield. But the thing with Derek Carr, if you don't trade for him, which I understand why teams don't want to trade for him because he's going to get cut, there could be a bidding war, dude, for him. There's going to be teams that want him because teams are desperate for quarterbacks. Like, look at the Buccaneers. I know the Buccaneers got all kinds of cap issues, shit like that. Look at the playmakers they have on offense. Fuck the whole Todd Bowles thing. He's horrific. But you say, you know what? If I'm Derek Carr, you're going to a team with Mike Evans, Godwin, all these guys. They're loaded. Would you want to go there? And nice weather down in Tampa? So if Derek Carr becomes a free agent, how much money is he going to want? He's probably going to command, what, $35 million a year?
Probably.
If not more?
If the Raiders cut him, though, don't they still owe him like a good chunk of money?
So what does that mean?
I thought that offsets like some of the money that another team would.
I still think he's going to get a shitload of money, dude. I mean, him in the open market. So you have him, obviously, Lamar Jackson. I think everybody can agree he's a very good player. You've got to cater the offense to him. What does that do to your there is the concerns about his injuries And the passing game, he's not a high flying quarterback. He does a lot of different things though. Question: would you give up a 3rd round pick for Carr just to secure him?
I don't think I would.
And then, so if you do that, then when you like restructure his contract, like work out a new deal with him, he's making like $40 million next year, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, how would you restructure it though? Are you going to give him more years, 5 or 6 years? Because then that's another problem. If you are going to pay a quarterback, let's say you do give Carr, a 4 or 5 year deal for $30 million per, something like that, and then let's say Saleh gets fired after this year, that's a major problem. Yep. Trying to interview head coaches while you've got this quarterback that he may or may not want on a 4-year contract. Good luck.
I mentioned a lot of mentions of Byron Leftwich, the Patriots getting Lamar Jackson. I could see that. I mean, if you're Lamar Jackson, would you rather play for Belichick or Saleh?
Unless he wants to be in New York. I don't know.
I mean, it's New Jersey. It all, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what everybody wants, and like nobody's gonna agree on everything. The coordinators vary. The offensive line coaches, everybody has their own opinions too.
I just feel like no matter what happens, it's not going to be the prominent guy that we want. It's going to be a Minshew. It's going to be a Tannehill, a Jimmy G. It's going to be somebody like that. It's not going to be the top.
They're not going to trade for Justin Fields. You're not going to go down that path. I don't see that happening.
You don't think there's any way they draft somebody, right?
No.
The timeline for Saleh having a win.
No.
There's no way that happens, right?
Nope. If you want to cut Corey Davis, that's fine with me.
I don't think they have a choice but to cut him.
I mean, you could restructure Carl Lawson. I mean, I saw like they're talking about. I think Samini was talking today about restructuring C.J. Mosley again. Like, just.
Well, I think the way they restructured Mosley's deal last year, it didn't really like add any new guarantees on it. It was just a formality, I think, for how they paid out his bonus money. So it freed up some money into the season for last year in case they needed it, which they didn't. So I think they can do it again if they need to.
Should the Jets wait for the open head coach jobs to be filled and go after someone like a Jim Caldwell for offensive coordinator, if not hired?
I'd be okay. I'd have no issue if they wait on offensive coordinator and figure out the quarterback first. Like, unless you're getting that top tier guy like a Todd Monken or somebody that's like right at the top of your list. I mean, all these other guys, I mean, nobody's proven. Find somebody that's going to fit the quarterback that you could actually get in here first.
I don't want nothing to do with trading. I don't want to draft the quarterback in the first round, dude. I'm done with this. I'm finished. Like, I can make a case right now to go after Lamar Jackson, bring back Mike White, and get rid of Zach Wilson. I'd be fine with that.
But that's another problem, though. I mean, what if at pick 13, the best player on your board is Anthony Richardson or one of the quarterbacks? Do you not take him because you have to win now? I mean, that might be your guy 2 years from now. That might be your Chad Pennington that you sit on the bench for 2 years, and then he's your franchise.
You know who's going to be sitting on the bench for 2 years?
That's the thing, though. Joe Douglas can't do that. Saleh
can't do that. Who's going to be sitting on the bench for 2 years? Zach Wilson.
He might be playing XFL.
Oh, yeah.
They're starting up in a month.
That's like, it's funny. This one guy, I'll give him credit. Like, I have people that comment on my videos. This one guy is loyal as shit. He must be Tom Brady's brother. He keeps telling me how Tom Brady should be signed by the Jets for 1 year. He'd be the perfect mentor for Zach Wilson.
Why would he give a shit about mentoring Zach Wilson?
I'm like, I don't want Tom Brady. That's just like, it's a 1 year band-aid at best, and he's on the tail end of his career, and I don't want it. I'm good.
Is there any part of you, though, that thinks maybe Zach can turn it around just watching what Daniel Jones did?
No.
It took Daniel Jones, the right coach, in year 5
to
get it right, or year 4, whatever, year 4 to get it right.
I'm just down on Zach, dude. I honestly think if I was him, I would go to talk to his agent and his family and say, listen, man, I want out of New York. Like, my team doesn't like me. I don't like my team. I don't like the area. I don't like the media. Like, I want out.
I think that would be a worse look for him if he did that.
Worse than now. Everybody hates him. The media makes fun of him. The fans don't like him. The teammates don't like him. There's nothing left here.
Grow some thick skin. Change the narrative. Work your ass off. Show up to camp. Make some throws. Earn your teammates' respect back.
Mm-hmm.
They were all wearing the Zach Milf Hunter shirts last summer. Earn their respect back,
dude. That respect is long gone.
I think so, but he's a young quarterback. They're not just going to cut him. It's not going to happen.
No, you trade him away somewhere.
If he wants out and you can get value, that's one thing. But
what do you consider value for a quarterback that hasn't done nothing in 2 years?
I mean, you got a 2nd round pick for Darnold. I'd want at least a 3rd for Zach. I don't know.
I mean, at least Darnold can throw touchdown passes. I cannot wait till this goes uploaded on our podcast networks. I'm like, you guys are so freaking negative. Bro, we lost 6 games in a row, and we are now in the same position we were 2 years ago in terms of the offense. Looking for a quarterback, looking for an offense. Come
When,
on.
when I was looking at the salary cap page today, that's where I just like, dude, listen to the top 13 that we're paying right now. Mosley, Tomlinson, Carl Lawson, DJ Reed's the one good one.
Yep.
JFM, Dwayne Brown, Corey Davis, Uzama, Whitehead, Quinnen Williams, you're going to have to restructure. He's going to make a ton of money. And then Zach, Conklin, and Berrios. Those are your top 13. You got 2 All-Pros in there. And guess who they were signed by? Not the current GM.
Well, DJ Reed's probably all pro. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he should be. He was Pro Bowl, right? Not All-Pro.
I mean, he should. Why isn't Joe Douglas in the hot seat? He is, dude. Joe Douglas is on the hot seat. This is the organization. Him and Salah both on the hot seat this year. No doubt about it. So I guess we'll go to calls if we didn't lose all you guys already, because I'm just in a nasty mood. Primetime is too.
I've been in a mood.
No, we need to figure out too. I've been thinking about this. We got to figure out to do some kind of party, man. Can't do a Super Bowl party because it's only a couple weeks away, but maybe a draft party or something.
Party. Do a draft.
Right?
Yeah. Do that some restaurant or something.
So we all just meet up and drink beer and just enjoy it. And either that or we got to do some kind of party, man. Just to all hang out and meet up. Do it somewhere in Central Jersey. So we get the Jersey Shore people and the North Jersey. We all meet in the middle somewhere. And we got to figure something out though, man.
Definitely.
Draft party. Because
summer bash party, kick off the training camp. You do one of those.
Some shit. We got to do something, man. All right. So we will go to Bubs. What's up, man?
How's it going? Thanks for having me out.
What's up, Elmo? We didn't say hi to you, man.
Hey, Elmo.
What's up, Elmo?
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a Jet fan, as always, this time of year.
So wait, Bubs. What is your personal state of the Jets?
How I feel, or
yeah.
Bad, really bad. Watching all the playoff games, seeing all the watching good football, it's frustrating. To see, especially a team like the Giants, which I'm happy for Dable and all that, but see a team like the Giants turn it around their first year under, Dable and Shane, it's just, and the Jets haven't, and then you see the other day was the anniversary of the 12 years since they won in Foxborough.
Yep.
It's since then it's just been
I'm so sick of watching those highlights. I'm so sick of watching those fucking highlights.
But even the Jets, 54 years ago today, we won the Super Bowl. Aren't you embarrassed to say that? You haven't won shit since.
Or how about today on social media? The moment Jets Twitter has been waiting for. Let's vote our rookies, Pepsi Rookies of the Year. So exciting this time of year. The
moment I'm waiting for is the goddamn playoffs.
Yeah,
sorry,
bad.
Bob. Go ahead, man.
I agree. It's really bad. I agreed with the firing up Michael LaFleur. Somebody had to go. Obviously, you couldn't keep the same staff when you lose 6 straight and you don't score a touchdown for 3 straight weeks, specifically, obviously, on the offensive side of the ball. So somebody had to go. In terms of, the offensive coordinator is just, it's a mess because there's really, they're not bringing in Frank Wright. I think, Monken's a pipe dream, I think. Bevel seems, he's had experience calling plays. He's been a coordinator a couple of times. He's actually been an interim a couple of times. I think he took over when Patricia got fired in Detroit. I think he took over last year when Urban Meyer got fired. So he's probably most experienced. I'd take him over the Patriots tight ends coach. I'd take him over him, or there was another dude. The other Colts offensive coordinator, or the former Colts guy, Brady.
The Patriots didn't even have an offensive coordinator this year. So if their tight end coach couldn't even get upgraded in their own organization, offensive coordinator, I don't want him.
That's what I was saying earlier. I was thinking they had Matt Patricia and Joe Judge running their offense, and this guy couldn't get elevated to a different role, and now he might be our offensive coordinator. That's concerning. Especially watching that offense was at times even worse than ours.
There's nothing exciting about this search.
Nope.
No.
And
the quarterback, I don't even know. I agree with you guys where I don't think it's crazy to say if you sign a quarterback first and then bring in an offense coordinator that would, fit the system and all that stuff. But you guys just make a great point. Who's going to want to come here? Who wants to come here? We haven't made the playoffs in 12 years. Robert Sala's on the hot seat. Douglas on the hot seat. You have an owner that doesn't know what a football looks like. And you don't have a quarterback.
Bingo.
So, there's a good chance you get hired here as the offensive coordinator, and 14 games in, you're the interim head coach. That's really where we're currently standing.
That's really true, though.
So
it's a selling point.
It's just a train wreck. But I have a question. Where do you guys stand? I don't think it's going to happen. But I look, Lamar Jackson. I mean, I look. I mean, if a quarterback's on the open market, they're obviously not perfect. Lamar, I like the running ability. He's a phenomenal runner, excellent talent, but he's got the injury history. 1-3 in the postseason. There's some concerns there. It's also some concerns too with spreading the ball around, his arm strength, his throwing ability.
Yep.
Do you guys think there's any chance Jimmy G comes here? Would you guys be fine with that, or is he kind of, now that with LaFleur gone and possibly a new system, not like San Francisco, do you think that's kind of done at this point?
I think it would depend on the offensive coordinator, yeah, and whether or not
Yep.
he in theory fits the system. I mean, he would still have the connection with Saleh, which could be a point to bring him in. But I mean, who else is offering him a starting job? I mean, if the Patriots don't get Lamar Jackson, I mean, he could possibly go back there.
He gets hurt a lot too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
so how would you rank the 3 quarterbacks that you want in order?
My top 3 would probably be, Lamar would probably be, I would go Carr first. I'd go Carr number 1. I
Carr
just have a little
first.
bit too many concerns with just his injuries. That's just my opinion. I mean, he's been hurt the past 2 seasons, running quarterback, his mobility. Like, he's going to eventually wear down, and that could be coming soon. So that's my only concern. So I'd go Carr 1, Lamar 2, and then I like Jimmy G a lot. I think Jimmy G gets a bad rap because he's not flashy. He's not going to guy that's going to go out there and throw for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he has playoff success. He's done a very good job going on the road and winning some big games. I like Jimmy G a lot. I know he's got the injury problem, but so does Lamar. So it's, look, I mean, the fact that these guys are on the market, they're not going to be perfect. That's the reason why they're out there.
Yep, exactly.
So you're not going to get Patrick Mahomes out there because it's just they're out there because there's obviously something wrong with them. So you just got to hope that the positives outweigh the negatives in the long run. But I just wish we were talking about a divisional round game right now.
No, it's fair, dude. It's just frustrating, man. It's just there's so many unknowns. And the biggest unknown is, what is the perception of the Jets? What does Jimmy G think of the Jets? It's like, all right, you like Saleh, but he could be gone in a year. Do you want to tie yourself 5 years to the Jets knowing that? I don't know. That's like we all I know we all say the same thing, the selling points. Oh, you got Breece Hall, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Elijah Moore, you have all these exciting players, which is great. The coach, the owner, and the stability of the organization is a factor. It always is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you guys welcome Dow Loggins back?
Jesus Christ. You might as well bring Adam Gase back too. What the hell? Let him run the offense.
I'll take Jeremy Bates back.
Maybe
probably the best
switch the
offense
roles
we've had in the last 8 years.
Maybe switch the roles this time. Put Loggins at coordinator and Gase the designated challenge thrower.
or we can get Gase's scripted plays and then bring back LaFleur for the rest of the game. Maybe that combination could work. Or like a red zone specialist and have 3 coordinators.
God help us. What a disaster. Bubs, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good one, guys.
Later, dude.
Have a good one, man.
All right. So we got a lot of different takes already. Jordan Love, Trey Lance, no to them.
I'm shredding this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny seeing the names like Joe Brady, all these guys. These are names we mentioned like 2 or 3 years ago, and they've gone somewhere. They've failed somewhere. They've been fired. Now we're talking about them again.
Yeah, I mean, was Joe Brady a victim of Matt Rule? I mean, he was once thought of as that next innovative potential.
We were pissed we didn't get him, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
We were pissed about Monken. I know.
Yeah, we wanted Matt Rule to pick his own staff. I remember that.
Yep. Ryan Tannehill mentions, Baker Mayfield mentions.
I don't want to be decent. Like the whole idea of tearing it all down the way we did and rebuilding it, like, was to win a championship, right? Like, to get to that championship level. I don't want to just be decent. I don't want to just make the playoffs, which would be nice, but like the whole idea of going through that whole process and eventually getting over the hump, which we thought we did midway through the year, was to have something that was sustainable that you could build year after year and win a championship. So just getting one of these like middle of the road guys, that does nothing for me.
So you're all in on Lamar Jackson then?
Yeah.
What's the most you give up in terms of draft compensation?
I'd give up 2 firsts.
That's it? Would you add more?
I mean, if a second round pick was, the difference between getting him and not, yeah, I'd probably throw in a second.
All right. Prime time, doubling
down.
Give me a
quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers becomes available, which I think he will, I'd be all in on that too. 2 years of Aaron Rodgers, I would love that.
That's another one. Aaron Rodgers. That'd be interesting to see him here. But
I would sell my soul to make that happen for 2 years.
Yeah, but you need to get like Nathaniel Hackett to be the coordinator. Then you have to hire him to get his coordinator in here.
Aaron Rodgers can handpick who the offensive coordinator is going to be. I don't give a shit who it would be. If we hire somebody now and then Aaron Rodgers becomes available in 4 months, he could fire that guy, bring in his own guy. I wouldn't care. If you have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, you do it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Not that I think it's going to happen, but if
and then you can make Zach happy because now Zach can see his boyhood idol in person. You can watch him every day. Zach can learn.
That's true. And the timelines are perfect too, right? I mean, I think he's got 2 years, maybe 3 years left on his contract, so you can let Zach watch. If he's developing in practice, then maybe
that'd be
pick
funny.
up his 5th-year option and he succeeds Aaron Rodgers.
Knowing the Jets, they'll hire Nathaniel Hackett, and eyes are trying to get Rodgers, and Rodgers doesn't come here. That'd be the Jets, right?
That'd be some Jet shit.
Would you pay $90 million for Rodgers?
For 1 year?
2 years, 45 each?
Hell yeah, I would do that. Money's not an issue. I mean, I know they don't have money this year, but I think they've got like 115 or so for next year. So there's obviously ways they could structure a deal to get a quarterback in here. If you can get one of the top guys and you think you have a top 5 or a top 10 defense and you think you got playmakers on offense, which you do, why not? Quarterback should be the missing piece if you have the right coaching staff.
Lamar Jackson makes y'all a top 5 team.
Top 5?
Top 5? Gotta get
Maybe top
first.
10.
Yeah, I don't think he's top 5. I think that's just because there's so much faith in the defense.
Problem is, so many other teams are progressing too. Like the Jaguars are getting good. Like look at the NFC East and what they've done. Bengals are getting better every year. Like so many other teams are taking those steps, and just feels like we're going baby steps, inches at a time.
If we swing and miss, what about trading for Jordan Love? No, thank you. I'm not trading for Trey Lance. What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us, man. We haven't streamed in a while, so definitely appreciate it. We will go to Alan. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. How are you? And prime time, I promise I won't yell like he did last time with Tyrone. That was
I'll say, at least it wasn't at me, so.
I appreciate it. I remember when Tyrone
he yelled at Tyrone.
They had a good fight about whether or not the Jets had a top 5 or top 10
Yeah,
defense.
Tyrone said they had a top 5 defense the last part of the year. I almost threw up.
Yeah,
the moment that I realized being a Jet fan was a curse was this Sunday. Again, I'm here down in Charlotte. I'm sitting at a bar restaurant in Charlotte. Again, home of Daniel Jones. I'm watching the TV, and the whole bar is going crazy watching Daniel Jones. And I found myself rooting for the Giants. And then I realized my life sucks. I'm starting to realize that. Because I'm rooting for Daniel Jones and a legitimate head coach, unlike the crap that we have behind the bench. Okay? I'm watching Brian Daboll and I'm watching Daniel Jones, and I'm thinking, this organization is eons away from competing. It's unbelievable. But I have 2 comments. One on the quarterback. I think there's only one option, and it's not Lamar Jackson, because I am telling you, I live down here, and Lamar Jackson will be a Falcon if he gets traded. And I'll tell you why.
That's the rumor, yep.
Because they have all the money, and the only time that franchise was relevant, I'm not talking about the time where they choked the Super Bowl. The only time they were relevant was when Michael Vick was the quarterback. And you replace Michael Vick with Lamar Jackson, that fan base will go nuts. They have $70 million in cap space. They have good young pieces on that team. And if I'm Baltimore, if I trade him, I'm not trading him within the conference. There's no way. So I think he ends up down here in the NFC South.
Well, that was the rumor today. I think what was it? Ben Albright said it. 2 other people were saying too, like, listen, like everybody's talking about the Jets. He's like, the Falcons are the place. It just makes so much sense. Lamar will be happy. Everybody will be happy. Out of the conference. Too. Brand new stadium. You got,
he's coming down here if he gets traded. The only quarterback that makes sense is Derek Carr. And reading all this stuff about these offensive coordinators, it makes no sense if it's not Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen and Derek Carr have that connection. If I'm a quarterback coordinator right now, the only way I would come to the Jets is if I'm married to the quarterback.
Yep.
And I'm reading these names like Pep Hamilton. I mean, you got to be kidding. Some of these names are just jokes.
Yep.
And to me, Greg Olsen is the only one that makes sense. And Derek Carr would come here because his brother loved his time here in New York when he was the backup of Eli. He has a
Yeah,
connection with
'cause
another.
he didn't play. That's why.
That's true.
He just hung out and watched.
He also has a really good connection with another Fresno State guy in Aaron Judge. They're actually really good friends. I think Derek Carr makes sense in New York. And I think he'd make the team much better. And one final comment about the owner. And trust me, I am no fan of the owner. Every time he talks, I just like I shrug my shoulder. But I have to defend the owner on one thing.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You might laugh at this one. First of all, he didn't hire this clown. So remember that. Okay. First of all, he didn't. He must go to that stadium every day and listen to fans just tear him a new asshole every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking to himself, we have no quarterback. We have a shitty stadium. Okay. It's time for this organization to bring a legit quarterback. And I give him credit the other day when he's like, you know what? It's time for this organization to get a marquee quarterback. So I know you're saying, oh,
he stated the obvious.
He did. But you're saying that meddling in with Joe Douglas and with Robert Saleh, I just don't think he has confidence in either guy. I don't.
Oof.
I don't. First of all, I have no confidence in the coach. I think the coach is a clown, in my opinion, and I would have fired him already. But
if he really doesn't have confidence, though, in Saleh or Douglas, but if he doesn't have confidence in them, why is he going to write a $200 million check for whichever quarterback they choose that they want to bring in?
Because this organization hasn't had a face at the quarterback position, unfortunately, since Joe Namath. Honestly, they have not had a quarterback that they could look at and say, there's a face of this franchise at the quarterback position, and it's time. I mean, this organization needs a quarterback so badly, and the fan base is just completely frustrated to the point where this owner, he bought the team from Leon Hess with the hopes of winning a championship. I'm not saying he's been a good owner. He hasn't, but it's time.
Yeah, but see, Woody, I'm not giving Woody Johnson credit for anything, dude. Because
I'm not giving him credit.
No, but I'm saying, but he stated the obvious. Your team lost 6 games in a row. You went from a playoff chance to a laughing stock. You lost 6 games in a row. You got to fire people. You can't sell tickets. So right now, what Woody Johnson's talking to is his marketing team, and they can't market. You can't. What is the face of your franchise? You don't have a face of the franchise. Maybe Sauce Gardner. He's not selling tickets because you're not winning games.
That's why I think it's either Aaron. I think Aaron Rodgers. If there's an opportunity to get him, that's the guy. He's a face. I mean, he definitely doesn't like the media, and I can imagine him with the New York media when they ask him a question. He'll just go nuts. But he's a face. He might be a face for 2 more years, but he is a face. And the problem with this franchise is there is none. There's nobody.
That's true.
And there's nothing. And it's crazy to say that because there was some hope coming off of this draft. But again, time and time again, they don't know how to develop quarterbacks. They don't know how to draft quarterbacks. And this is an offseason where they're desperate to the point where they're going to go after anybody. I mean, anybody. And
that's what makes you nervous, though. That's what scares me. That's what makes you nervous. Is they're desperate, dude. They are desperate on so many levels right now for winning, to keep their jobs, from marketing, from ticket sales. They're desperate. Absolutely desperate. And that's why I'm hopeful for Lamar. I don't think he's going to be a Jet. Absolutely, I don't. Me neither. And I think it's Derek Carr and Greg Olsen. I think those are the 2 people right now that marry to one another because they have a relationship with one another as OC and quarterback. And I'm not saying that Derek Carr is this great quarterback, but I'll tell you the thing, you put him on this team this year, they would have won 11 games. Yeah, Derek Carr is not great, but he's better than anything the Jets have had in the last decade. In the last decade. Seriously. Absolutely. We've had shitty quarterbacks. Shitty. Alan, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it. No problem, man. Good talking to you, man. And that's the funny thing, Primetime. It's like we can shit all over Derek Carr. I actually like Derek Carr, to be honest with you. I know he's not perfect, the whole cold weather thing, bad interceptions. I think he's a feisty dude. He's an emotional guy, a leader, does a lot of really good things. And if he's the quarterback, I'd have no problem supporting him. I don't hate him. No, some people absolutely hate him. I don't hate him. No, they can do much worse than him. And there's probably 5 or 6 quarterbacks that you put on the current Jets team, from last season. That's a playoff team. So obviously you have a chance to upgrade, but at the same time, like you still want to keep those sights on winning a championship. I don't want to spend 3 or 4 years with a middle of the road quarterback. So you think Derek Carr's middle of the road?
I think he's better than that. I think he's better than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
But again, is he $40 million better? That's
Dude. Desperate times, desperate measures. If you want to get a quarterback, you can be like, $10. You're gonna have to pay it, dude. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it. It is definitely difficult times.
I just think also, like, I mean, if you're talking about Saleh legitimately being on the hot seat and you're going to give out a contract other than, Lamar Jackson or an Aaron Rodgers, who I'd like to think, any coach coming in would probably want, if it's a possibility that Saleh could get fired after this year, now you're talking about going through all these interviews for a head coach, possibly even for a GM, and they have to inherit this contract and quarterback that they might not want. Like that only adds another layer to all the issues that the Jets have. So.
All right. I don't know, man. I just can't believe we're here again talking about quarterbacks.
This was all so simple. 2 years ago, all you had to do was lose 2 games.
Oh,
this all would have been
fucking. And then you watched.
We had to make Steve happy, right?
Yep. Luca, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Another miserable day as a Jet fan. To me, I think the Jets should have. This is my opinion. I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but I think the Jets should have just tore down the entire coaching staff and this is not the Jets. Well, this is the Jets, but they wouldn't do this. They should have paid Sean Payton and had him sell the vision to them. What's going on in Elmo? That's to me.
Why would Sean Payton come here?
That's a question, but again, that's like one of those things where you got to get ballsy.
No, but you won't. But the thing is, you can't even compete with other teams for Sean Payton because Sean Payton wants stability and resources. The Texans got a top pick, draft picks. They likes the owner. Like the Jets, what are you offering? The 13th pick in the draft, you're going to give up to get him. So you got to find him.
And you're probably firing Joe Douglas too if you're bringing in Sean Payton.
Or conceding a lot of power. Yep.
I just to me that would have been the better solution. To me, would have been a better solution as I'm stuttering. But this situation sucks, man. Like to me, there's only 2 candidates out there. Like if we don't get Lamar Jackson or Derek Carr, we're kind of screwed because we're just going to keep, as the fan base we're going to keep lowering the bar for what we want. Daniel Jones, even though he's had a very good season, Gardner Minshew, Ryan Tannehill. I don't want to go through that. I just don't. And we're such in a miserable position now.
Could you imagine?
And with that, what are we at? Negative 2.3 million cap space. And all the guys you have to cut in the offseason to at least get to adequate position, we're all signed within the last 1 or 2 years, and they're Joe Douglas guys.
All Joe Douglas
so it's all a testament to him. It's an all testament to him. Guys like Carl Lawson, Corey Davis,
Berrios,
Jordan Whitehead potentially, Braxton Berrios, all these different guys.
They don't save much by cutting Whitehead. They only save a few million from Berrios.
Yeah.
John Franklin Myers, if they cut him, I think would only be a couple million with 7 or 8 million in dead money. Carl Lawson and Corey Davis are the 2 guys that they can make a good chunk of money back. But other than those 2, there's really not a whole lot of wiggle room unless you're talking about restructuring and pushing money into future years, which I don't want to do either.
100%. It just sucks. I don't know what much more to say about that. The Jets, they're gonna. We all know that they're gonna trade the 13th pick. Yeah, exactly. But we know they're gonna get somebody like Darrell Bevell, just a bad retread offensive coordinator. Because why is Todd Monken coming here? I have my list of favorites. Monken is one of them. Reich is one of them. But Reich's going to be like, okay, why would I go here where I could be fired in a year, or I could go to somewhere like Arizona, wherever there's a head coach opening, and say, you know what, there's going to be more stability. I get to pick my own staff, and I could be there for at least 4 years, and they're going to actually pay me the big bucks on something unlike the Jets.
I agree. No, it's nice to have a nice fancy wish list, but I think a lot of these guys aren't realistic. And I could just be negative thinking I'm just so down on the Jets, but I just think a coach in the hot seat, man, is never a good thing, and no quarterback.
What do you sell them?
That was a good point though by Bubs. I mean, if you could sell an offensive coordinator coming in as the assistant head coach, where Saleh's on the hot seat, well, that could be my opportunity to get a head coaching job.
Is Saleh willing to do that though? Is he willing to concede and give up make somebody assistant head coach?
Might not have a choice.
Especially that one of his best friends was just fired, and he was fired.
He wasn't fired. They mutually parted ways.
Yes, we got a.
They allowed him to pursue other opportunities.
Yes, he's getting all those interviews right now. He's such a hot candidate right now. So ridiculous. It's like primetime you were talking about earlier too. Like, what do you do first, offensive coordinator or quarterback? Because if you let's just say again, this is a dream scenario. You pay Monk and he gets the assistant head coach job. This is dream scenario. You want Derek Carr or Lamar Jackson. What if you don't get either? And Todd Monken's going to be like, "What the hell did I sign this contract for? Why am I here? I didn't get the quarterback I wanted."
Well, the bigger thing I have is like if you bring in Monken or whoever your offensive coordinator is, they're going to have a system that they run, right? So you have to bring in a quarterback that fits that system. You don't know if you're going to be able to get Derek Carr or Lamar Jackson or Jimmy G or who your quarterback's going to be. So in theory, why not get the quarterback first? And then you figure out, all right, this is what this guy does well. This is the system that he needs to play in. I'm going to find a coordinator that fits that. Because right now, out of all the candidates that we're interviewing, who's the hot candidate? Who's the guy that everybody wants?
We're casting wide range of nets from nobodies to somebodies. There's no all-star candidate that wants to come here. And then somebody said this in the chat. Yeah, exactly. We're just catching air. And somebody said this in chat, oh, you can't fault Joe Douglas for his free agent signings that have not panned out because of coaching. Well, you trusted the head coach to coach these guys up. So that's his fault either way. He signed these guys with a vision. So I don't agree with that either. Just so much misery.
Luca, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Mike.
Good talking, man.
That's funny as shit. A lot of Aaron Rodgers wishing. It's just
so apparently Mike LaFleur is joining the Rams.
Is he? Good for him, man.
I mean, there's a bunch of articles that he's expected to join up with McVay.
Good for him, man. What role? Quarterback coach? What is he gonna do?
Don't even know. It was reported 2 days ago, actually, from Mike Garofalo.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess he did have opportunities out there.
Oh, we'll see. I didn't even.
He's probably gonna be the Rams' next head coach. Watch. McVay's going to retire in 2 years, and LaFleur's going to be the Rams' next head coach. Watch that.
Well, good for me. Said I misspoke, then I was wrong. So ignore the first 10 minutes of this stream where I was completely wrong. All right,
so now can we go back and question whether or not he was actually fired?
I think he was.
I don't think he was. What? Salah's a smart dude. I said it in my video when I was driving the other day. He's a smart guy. He's very aware of the things that he says and how the media is going to run with it. Why would he answer a question about bringing in a veteran offensive assistant if he knew that he was going to fire LaFleur and he was going to need a veteran offensive coordinator? Doesn't make any sense, especially after he gave that rant 3 weeks ago about, my first 2 years in San Francisco, they weren't very good. I appreciated Shanahan sticking with me. Like he went out of his way to defend LaFleur.
Why do you say all gas, no break and punt from the 40 down by 14? I don't understand either.
That's another thing. I really don't think he wanted to fire him. I don't know if it was Woody. I don't know.
Good for LaFleur. I'm jealous, man.
It genuinely could have been LaFleur saying, you know what? I've got other opportunities. I don't want to come back on the hot seat. Maybe it's best that we actually do part ways, like you said. That might have actually been what happened.
What's up, Mr. Afram?
How are you feeling, first of all?
See, primetime, Afram was genuinely concerned. He thought I was depressed. I'm like, no, I'm annoyed with the Jets.
I am.
You look depressed. I felt bad for you.
You know what it is, though? To be honest with you, you sit here, it's like, all right, it's the off season again, and you got to do content, right? We got to create videos. You got to do all the shit. We're talking about the same fucking bullshit. Quarterbacks, offensive coordinator, and then you got to point out all the mistakes they made. But when you do that, you ruffle a lot of feathers because you got to insult Joe Douglas. You got to talk about Salah, Woody Johnson. That pisses people off. It's just like
can't make everybody happy.
I don't make anybody happy.
Hello, Elmo.
It's exhausting, man.
It is.
It's really been the same shows every offseason for 8 years of doing this.
It's that's what happens when you don't you hire friends or you put people in positions they weren't prepared to be in.
But Afram, the weird thing is that when they first hired Salah, and we had the best thing about this show is we don't delete any of our videos. We keep them all up. There were legitimate concerns about the coaching staff, the inexperience. When you have a defensive-minded head coach who's going to be the CEO, he's got to be actively involved on the offense. He's got to know what's going on, have a good feel for it, develop all these things. So year one didn't work out that well. Year two, they doubled down and kept pretty much everything status quo, which is a mistake, right? And now you're year three. It's like this isn't a 5-year rebuild. Like now they have talent. And it's frustrating to be in this spot again because you have uncertainty, right? That's annoying as shit, isn't it?
Yeah, the biggest problem was not getting a qualified quarterback coach the second year.
Yep.
It's obvious LaFleur wasn't a quarterback. It wasn't there to develop the quarterback. He kind of admitted he's not the guy for that. His thing was calling plays.
All the more reason it's laughable that a veteran quarterback wasn't on the roster.
Exactly. Forget about veteran quarterback. You needed someone who basically a good quarterback coach. You don't bring a rookie.
They needed somebody to play his rookie year so he could sit and watch.
That too. But it didn't happen. So what do we look for the future?
Well, what is your state of the Jets? Like, if you look at this organization, what is your state?
I'm in limbo. They're in limbo right now. They're in limbo. They are in crossroads. Let's look at each piece. Lamar probably get franchise tag because it will only cost them about $46 million a year in salary, which will keep roughly in that range, and tag him where it cost you two first round picks if you're going to offer him something. If I think you can offer him, and then the Ravens can match that contract as well.
Yep.
So, but here's the thing: you get him, say goodbye to Zach, because this guy's going to be a long term. There's no reason to develop your number 2 pick.
Yep.
Brady, I don't know. Brady's there. Brady's just probably wants to go out on a high note. He hasn't in the last 2 years. Who knows where he goes at this point? Maybe Miami. Maybe Ross decides he wants to take it. Let Tua rest for a year and put in. So that leaves you Carr and Rodgers. Rodgers, the Packers, it'll basically bankrupt them if they release him. It's such a tremendous hit.
It's like a $90 million cap hit, right?
It's 90 million, more than that, I think. But why would Rodgers walk away from $60 million? That's a tough.
They can't trade him.
Even with the trade, they take a tremendous hit. It's such a weird contract I'm looking at. So now it comes to Carr. They released Carr before February 15th. They saved $32 million. Yep. It's only a $5 million cap hit for that year, and then it's a $3 million and $1 million. So they save $40 million the following 2 years and each year. So that's $80 million. So that's what everyone's waiting for, because then they can bid. And you know something? You have to outbid. You have to outbid him.
Yeah, so you wouldn't trade for him, right?
If the thing is, if I trade for him, I need to know I can renegotiate a contract with Carr.
Well, he's got a no trade clause, so he'd have to waive that with some kind of conditions to make it all work. So
that's the thing. So now that's the thing. Do you say, hey, do I waive my and go to the free agent? They got to get rid of me before February 15th, and then it becomes a bidding war. And I can get whatever I want. Whoever's looking for a quarterback then. He's 31. He's produced year after year. He's not the sexy pick, but he produces. You put if they were, and then it gives you the opportunity not to lose draft capital. You build up. You draft an offensive tackle in the first round. Use as much of those 5-6 picks you have and solidify that O-line, because that's what it needs. You don't know if Dwayne Brown's coming back.
So you're willing to give Derek Carr $40 million a year?
He's saying yes. He's telling me yes. Go for it.
That sounded like a no. That was an aggressive part.
That was quick too.
That at all.
But what choice do you have? That's what the Deshaun Watson contract. That's what the Lamar. That's why the Ravens coach made a big. Not coach. The owner he really made it clear that that the contract that they gave Deshaun Watson really screwed things up for all teams.
Yep.
And especially bring a guy with that history, but they didn't care. Yeah.
You got a heckler right now.
Yeah. He's the Cleveland's coach over the Dogs. But every time he senses something, he has to bark. But he's a chicken shit, because as soon as he comes and someone goes near, he runs away. But so that Carr would probably be the best. And that's all you need is someone with that defense. All you need is someone who could average you, 22 points. We've been doing that. That's average play for in football. He can give you more with the weapons we have. It's just now, who do you bring as the offensive coordinator?
Do you think he's mentally tough enough for New York? Who is it? Boomer that had like the whole rant about like whether or not he's got the mental makeup to.
Everyone could say can say this, can say that. Everyone, but if he was 24, maybe not. But he's 31. He's been in the league long enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a guy who I've seen clips. Some guy did a Raiders channel did a thing about him where he's limping. He was limping. He didn't go off the field.
Yeah.
And he took the next play. All right.
He's tough, man. He's definitely a leader. He's respected by his teammates. He's tough as shit.
He won't come off the field unless he's forced. And the players respect that and they'll play for him. Okay. But he's played with a bottom 26 to 32 defense for how many years? The 9 years he's played. You're always playing from behind, most likely.
Look at those weapons he's got, though. I mean, 2,000-yard running back, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, but if you're playing from behind, but he they were scoring, but unfortunately, you keep losing because you can't keep up with that. Eventually, time runs out. The clock doesn't stop, and if they could outscore, if their defense is a lot better than yours, they're gonna stop you. So that's a game of chess, right? You stop the opponent as many times, on their drives, then they stop you, and you score.
So then your top three options at quarterback would be what? How would you rank them?
Really, do we have top three right now? If you look at it, do you have top three? The other two, Carr is probably the only viable, available thing that you can do.
I agree.
You go after, if you even have the chance of Lamar, it's going to cost you at minimum of 2 draft picks, $50 million a year, and then I forget about the draft, the cap money, because they're $100 million the following year, 200 the following after. They could spend it. Everyone is doing that. I mean, we talked in the middle of the year that the cap is not existent. Now all of a sudden we're worried about the cap, but
So for you, you think it's Derek Carr, and if not that, then we're back down to the Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's.
I think they're gonna. I have a funny feeling it's going to be Tannehill or Minshew. I just have a funny feeling.
There's gonna be a bidding war for Derek Carr, dude. If he becomes a free agent, there'll be a lot of teams in play there. There are.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Lamar goes to Atlanta, that's one less team, right?
Yep.
And they see and whatever they pay him, because they got a lot of money left. The following next 3 years, they got a ton of money left. And they're not hurting. So what does that do? That salary increases everyone else's salary.
Yep.
So now becomes the second tier guys start to get more money. So you're going to pay Minshew 25 to 30 million.
Jesus Christ.
Am I right?
No, it's
at that point you just bring back Mike White.
Yeah. What did these wide receivers get all of a sudden? Because everyone started last year was the crazy bidding war.
Christian Kirk started that.
But everyone followed suit.
Though. Yeah,
everyone followed suit, and so you're bowed down to what's out there because you have to. If everyone else is doing it, you're doing it, right?
Brian Tannehill, Carson Wentz. Good Lord.
There's a lot of proven vets that can manage the game and probably get the Jets into the playoffs. With the young talent that they have, but you're not winning championships with these guys. That's the problem. Derek Carr, maybe.
Yeah, and you got to ask yourself if it does. And now, if you get Carr, it also gives you the ability, if you still have desire to keep Zach, you can have him sit 2-3 years behind him, 2 years behind him. if you still want to keep your number 2 pick, right? That's the best option.
Tyson's completely done on Zach.
No, but I'm saying
100% done on Zach.
He doesn't want to hear Zach.
Nope.
No, but I'm saying because they mentioned they're not going to get rid of Zach, so this option lets you keep him, and you have a guy who can bring an offensive coordinator that can.
So tired of this.
But I'm saying that those are the scenarios you got. I mean, that's if you want to keep your number 2 overall pick and
after seeing what Daniel Jones did this year, anything could happen.
Look at Geno. Took him how many years, and he became
decade.
Basically,
Took Alex Smith like 6 years.
Exactly.
All right, so all right, so we'll put Zach Wilson.
It's-
We'll put Zach Wilson on a 10-year plan. Maybe in 10 years we'll figure it out.
No, but I'm just.
We'll give him a lifetime contract.
I'm just saying, if you take
sooner or later
one-
he figures it out.
He'll figure it out once he's with a new team. That's
If
what
you,
I'm
and
saying.
a
if you take a guy who's 25, 26, you're going to keep him for a long period of time. So that eliminates keeping Zach because there's no purpose. He's not going to see the field during that time unless he's injured. You got a guy that's 30, 31, 2-3 years, he can step in.
Yeah, pick up his 5th-year option.
Well, let's see what happens. Everyone's getting their 5th-year option. Darnold got his 5th-year option. So, the league is going to have the league's going to see this. Then they're going to have to up the salary cap at some point. Because then you're just going to have quarterbacks and guys.
I got an important question.
Yes, sir.
Is 2023 the year of the Jets too, or no?
Right now, it's limbo. 2023 is a limbo year. It's just you don't know. You could be happy. You can't be happy, and you can't be sad. You just don't know what's going on right now. You really don't.
Let's see what the quarterback is first.
They're interviewing guys that have no reason to be interviewing.
Yeah,
But
no
I think
choice.
they're interviewing guys just to interview guys.
And that's why I don't think this was part of
Why has there been brought Frank Reich brought in yet? He's not doing anything.
He's
He
interviewing
probably
for
turned
head
down the
coaching job.
interview.
So that would have leaked out by now.
He interviewed with the Cardinals today.
Did he?
Yeah.
For head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only time he'll take that position is there's no more coaching positions open.
Ephraim, thank you for calling, man, and thank you for reaching out. My welfare is fine. I'm just tired of this shit.
I'm always here.
2023, you're the limbo.
If you want to vent, I'm always here.
That's what I had this stream for, to come in here, yell, scream, and get insulted for 3 hours.
Nah, no one's insulting you. No, you guys do a great job.
Have a good night, man.
What's that? Namaste, whatever's that's called.
Namaste, that's right.
Namaste.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
That was so funny when he called. I got the message from Ephraim, like, what? He's like, "Are you okay, man? Like, you look depressed." I'm tired of this team.
It's the same shit every year.
Like, we're answering over and over and over. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator? What quarterback can we get? What this? What that? It's like, Jesus Christ, another offseason of this. I thought we were past this.
And almost every coordinator that we're bringing in, like Ephraim said, I mean, these are all guys that pretty much are unproven. So
it's painful, man. What's up, man?
Hey guys, how you guys been?
Been better.
Minus the Jets, I'm doing great.
I feel you, man. The last couple of weeks, I had to take time off just to relax and just take time off the Jets.
Oh, so you took the Zach Wilson plan? Did you go read a book and go to the beach and hang out for a while? That's what Salah's recommending these days.
Gotta wait for him.
Yeah, man. But the off season for Jets fans, it's always fun. That's always when we have our highest hopes. So
yeah, we win.
We win every offseason. Yep, A+ across the board. Those last 3 drafts were all A+, right?
Hi, Amo. Man, I just feel we should be the Giants right now. And to be completely honest, we should be up there. We should be in the playoffs fighting. We should be. It just sucks. It just sucks. Well, we're not just a QB away, but a QB would have taken us in for the playoffs this year at least.
Well, you're heading. We thought we were a team on the rise, a team that's going to the playoffs. Now you're a team going into a year where it's a must-win for everybody. You've got to win, or you're facing another blowing out the staff again, including the general manager, which is not ideal, man. We keep doing this every 3 years. Start over. Sooner you got to we're 12 years no playoffs, man. It's like, give me a break already.
Right, man. The general manager, dude, he's on the hot seat, dude. To be honest, he's not. The reason I believe he's not fired, it's because of the last draft.
Yep.
It's the only thing
if it wasn't for that, he would have been probably maybe fired this offseason.
Yeah, so Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall saved a lot of jobs this year. Seriously.
Yeah.
Problem is, even if you want to fire Douglas, I mean, who's running your search to bring in the next GM?
Oh, Christ.
that's like, we don't have anybody to do that. That's why we're
Woody Johnson will get the marketing firm, another search firm to do it for us.
Corn and Ferry or whatever it was.
This team.
So I have 3 top QBs. My number one's Rodgers. The guy is proven. He can. Again,
I'd say he's proven. Yeah,
What a Super Bowl.
fucking NFL MVP. I think he's proven. He kind of meets the criteria.
right, but it'd just be hard for the Packers. We may have to give up a lot for him, and that's something that I think would be hard for us to do, because we're not just a QB away from going to the Super Bowl like some of these other teams are, and it's gonna Packers. It's gonna minus a lot of their stuff. They have to take a hit to get Rodgers out of there as well. So then it goes to Lamar, and Lamar, the strength and weakness too. He's a good QB and he's a good running too. He can run. The problem is he's injury prone. And the one thing that we could say is that if we bring back Mike White, he can step in and play a couple of games, and he can try to win us a couple of games.
You're not going to be giving up 2 first-round picks, $45 million a year guaranteed to say, you know what, we're willing to have Mike White play a few games too. You got
no.
That's a backup.
Why? But you look at the pros and cons. The cons of him is he's injured, so there might be times where and only that, we may take one of those if we're not willing to sign Corey Williams. We might be trading him. I don't know what's happening with that.
Jesus Christ, what are we doing here?
I'm just saying because I don't know what's in the future. All
right, so we'll go back to the quarterbacks. So you have Rodgers one,
even worse.
Lamar Jackson. What do you want to give up to get Lamar Jackson? Would you do 2 first-round picks?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 first round, but
okay.
It's steep. And not only that, we have to fix his offensive line too, which we need a center. We don't. McGovern's
a
out.
free agent. Yeah.
Right, and then we don't know who's going to be our future tackles. Both of them is a mess at this point. The only thing we know is we have a guard.
So what you're telling me is we need a center, a left tackle, a right tackle, and a quarterback, right? That's it. We'll be fine.
Can I ask you what were the problems on the Jets roster when Joe Douglas took this job 4 years ago?
Basically everything.
Offensive line and quarterback.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And
head coach. That's right. And head coach.
For you, we can actually move on for CJ Mosley. On the post June. If we cut him post June, we get 17 million cap. He is a minus 4.476 mil in the cap.
You think they're gonna cut him?
It's your team captain, man.
Heart and soul of your defense.
So who's your third quarterback option? You got Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, then Derek Carr's 3.
Yeah, those.
So you want to give Derek Carr $45 million a year to come here?
It just depends on the OC. If the OC is from the Raiders, then I think we'll be doing that.
Fuck the OC. You need a quarterback. Are you willing to give Derek Carr $45 million a year? What if you have to get him first before the coordinator?
Damn, it's tough for me. It's tough for me because of it's pros and cons because Derek Carr, he had a number 1 receiver last year and a number 1 running back, and they were able to do well, even though the offensive coordinator did suck.
Jets unleashed. This is a simple question, dude.
Yeah,
$45 million a year.
Yeah.
There you go. See, you're desperate, right? You're desperate.
Right.
Guess who else is desperate? The New York Jets, dude.
Yeah,
right? Sure. That's exactly the conversation that's going to happen right there.
And this is how bad things happen, and this is how we find ourselves littered with bad contracts and in 3 years of cap hell. I've seen this.
Joe Douglas calls Derek Carr, offers him $38 million a year. He laughs and says, "Give me 45, or I'm not coming there." Now what?
You have to.
Probably more than that. How desperate the Jets are. Shit.
But the number one thing we need to get fixed, and I know it's been horrible, is this offensive line. This offense relies on this offensive line. If this offensive line isn't great or isn't good, we're not going to be good in the offseason.
Problem though.
Yeah.
You've already got $8 million, I think it's guaranteed in Becton. You got at least, I think, $7 million guaranteed in Dwayne Brown unless he retires. You got your center who's a free agent. You got AVT coming off surgery.
Tomlinson.
I mean, yeah, Tomlinson making $18 million. I mean,
Max Mitchell probably your right tackle, I would guess, right?
I would think him and Becton probably compete for the right tackle spot.
Who knows your left tackle?
Could be AVT.
Brown.
I'd put AVT there. I would do that actually.
Then who's gonna be the right guard then?
Who cares?
Maybe if Brown comes back, he's penciled in as your left tackle with AVT as your right guard, and then if Brown retires, you slide AVT over, and it's easier
And
to sign a Herbig or somebody like that.
then we need to find the center, and then do you guys think when we sign McGovern? Oh no,
McGovern,
I'd bring him back for 2 years.
He sounds like he wants to come back too.
To me, he's like he's average. He's not the best, but he's not the worst.
Sounds like the Jets.
Fits right in.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Yep, jet up. Let's go.
Yeah, shut up. All gas, no break.
Oof.
I'm so negative, dude. I know the feedback is gonna be terrible. I'm not in the mood. I don't have the energy for this nonsense.
I have a terrible feeling for where this.
What's up, man?
Going.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Hey,
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, what's up? Hey, Tyson and guys, you're not negative. You're a realist. I gotta reflect, man. 50 fucking years, and 2 times I could say I was happy. The sack exchange era and Sanchez back-to-back championships. Think about that.
Yep.
This year, the draft was great. We understand that. Okay, we get teased. We get fatal injuries. You go 3 games where you're pulseless, no fucking pulse. It's the biggest games of the franchise. You go into Miami, you play like a little league team, no flair, no nothing, no vanilla. Flacco's kids got the balls to wear a Tyreek Hill shirt. I mean, we are a circus. Woody, I remember when Kevin had the nose and shit. That's Woody. Woody says he wants to spend. That sounds great. You know what? My brother-in-law keeps telling me Lamar. First of all, it ain't going to be Lamar. It ain't going to be Rodgers. These fucking guys are jerking themselves off for Tom Brady. That's not going to happen. Like Kevin said, it's going to be Tannehill or Mayfield. But you think I'm crazy. If you get a Mayfield, right, and let's say we get a D-Hop with Garrett, with Lazar, let's just say you need a manager just to run. And if Brees comes back healthy, there is a little bit of hope. But shit, I'm like, I don't want to cash out never seeing a fucking championship. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is like scary. And now when you're telling me you're going to interview a tight end on the Patriots, the coach, what are we talking about?
I think they're just interviewing anyone that's willing to accept the job at this point, and just seeing who's out there and just casting a wide net and hoping they get lucky.
Well, let me say hi, Elmo, man, just so I don't get thrown off. Hey, Elmo.
But anyway, it's frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. No, it really isn't.
Tyson, I appreciate it. I love listening to you guys because I tell my son, that's me. You are everything you say. Listen, how much could we take? And then they got the balls to raise ticket prices. Are you kidding me?
The better thing is they had the balls to call me today and offer me tickets.
Guys, where do we go?
Oh
my God! I mean, listen. If we get the guy from Ohio State, right, and we get the other guy from Northwestern with the first pick, then they're talking about the center. I forgot Peter something, whatever it is. I mean, it all sounds good, and we're not that far away. But I mean, I appreciate Brees. I appreciate Garrett. They're gonna leave after their rookie contracts if we don't straighten this shit out. So where do we go? Where do we go?
And that's the thing. I mean,
all I know
if they solve the quarterback position, and if Saleh could actually make some improvements as head coach, you could look at the rest of the roster and say, all right, you got a nice young core. Maybe you can turn it around in a year or two. But if you don't solve the quarterback, and Saleh's fired in a year, we're looking at another 2 or 3 years of rebuilding again.
I hear you, but think about the Dolphin game. He put out the Dolphins were going to punt. They put out the wrong coverage team. Yep. They're like clueless.
Yep.
I mean, and 9-6. I work with all Dolphin fans, man. These guys put suck all over my jerseys and shit. And they're looking at me and I'm like, but they showed me something against the Bills. I couldn't believe they hung in.
They sure did.
And they got a third string quarterback. Can you imagine? And Tyson.
So the Niners.
I want Zach out. He's a boy in a man's game. Tinkerbell. Think about him in Disney with the little green tights. Get him out of here, bro.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I can't handle it. I want him out. Him out.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Thank you, man.
Have a good night. Wow.
I felt that anger, dude.
Wow.
I felt that anger.
Tinkerbell.
For real, dude.
Isn't that Peter Pan? The green tights?
I felt that anger. Listen, I appreciate all the young Jet fans out there, ones that haven't been through all this shit. Like I said, I've been through this shit so many times that you're just like, you see all the red flags, you see all the concerns, you see a desperate owner, a desperate GM, a desperate head coach. Good things never come out. They never work out well when it's like that. Never, ever, ever work out well, especially the Jets. They just don't. Prove me wrong.
And you brought it up too. Like I feel most for the younger fan. Like the kid that started like I did. I started going to games when I was 5 years old. I was fortunate. I got to see playoff games when I was 12. And again, when I was like 19, 20 with the Rex years. If you were a kid that started going to games as a season ticket holder when you were 5 or 6 years old, you're 25, 26 years old right now. You've never seen a home playoff game. Like imagine that. Imagine that. You got teams like the Chiefs and like the Packers. They've got home playoff games every year, big games every year. They're in it every year.
The fucking Giants, dude. The Giants turned it around.
That's the
Like,
thing.
that's the thing. It's like we don't ask for much.
It's
Like
1 year.
But dude, as Jet fans, we've lowered our standards so low. We've tolerated losing. We tolerated tanking. We justified losing. We do all this shit. We get a glimmer of hope, and they kick us square in the balls. They kick us so hard we spit blood out. 6 games in a row in embarrassing fashion. And there's certain things you just can't ignore. The fact that Saleh can just kind of brush off, yeah, you know what? We played bad against Jacksonville and Seattle. Like, no big deal. Well, we played good against Minnesota. We played good here. The 2 biggest games of the year, one of them at home on primetime television, your team didn't show up. That's a problem.
But did you hear his rationale, though? We got to live December football. It didn't go in our favor, but we got to live December football.
It's like we're like a JV team, dude. Like we can't act like a professional organization. Like this guy is all about goddamn t-shirts and phrases, and now it's unfinished business or just finished. Where the fuck it is?
Finish.
Wait, so what? Year 3 coach, you're learning how to actually make the playoffs now, not pretend. Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
Finish.
Fuck. It's just that's why I'm so angry, man. Like it's just this another offseason of this, just going through this whole like hamster wheel of quarterbacks.
It's easy to sell this in year 1, even year 2. It's like, all right, it's the year to learn from your mistakes from your rookie year. But now it's like year 3. I mean, there's pressure. This team, on paper, at least, it looks like it's good enough. There's enough talent, especially with some of the guys coming back from injuries. If you got a healthy Breece Hall and AVT, what's the excuse for this coaching?
Then you got the fucking owner telling us we're inspired. Like what? Like the Jet fans know they're inspired, they're excited. What are we excited about? We're more uncertain now than ever. Prime time, how many times we said this? Going into the season, the 2 major things we wanted to learn. Do we have the right coach? Do we have the right quarterback? Well, we know we don't have the right quarterback, and now we have big time concerns about the coach. Not ideal going to year 3 of your rebuild. It's just not. And you're bringing a whole new offensive staff, and it's not ideal, man. And the problem I have is who wants to come here to play for this team?
And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. That's why it's so hard to be optimistic, because everything's like it's all improv right now. This isn't part of a concrete plan where they're executing plan A, plan B. Like no, like they're on fucking plan Z right now. This wasn't the quarterback. This isn't going to be the offensive coordinator that they had in mind. Like they're operating on the fly right now. So like, what are the chances this is actually going to end up with a prominent quarterback and a good offensive coordinator?
Yep. And who wants to come here? That's the question I'll keep asking everybody. You want Todd Monken? Guess what? He's not coming here. You want Lamar Jackson? You may want to trade for him. You can like, does Lamar Jackson want to play for Saleh and the Jets when Saleh could be gone in a year? Yes, and I understand they have Garrett Wilson. I understand they have all these guys. They're worried about long-term stability. Who is going to be my leader, my coach for the next 3 years? The Jets can't guarantee that. It's not like you're going to with Mike Tomlin. You're not going to a guy like that. You're going to Saleh, whose team just lost 6 games in a row.
Good times.
I can just wait for the feedback from this stream. I don't even care. I'm just pissed. I'm so tired of this. Oh, let's go to this. Baby Yoda is now on the show.
It's perfect.
Does Baby Yoda talk?
That'd be awesome if it does, because I'd love to hear Baby Yoda's top 3 quarterbacks.
Is there any truth that Baby Yoda he's probably being interviewed by the Jets right now for offensive coordinator?
We're probably on the phone trying to sell him tickets or some shit. They'll accept anybody.
See, and they say we don't bring on all callers. See, we're flexible, dude.
I got to check the background. That might be a relation to Elmo, the imposter Elmo that we had.
We bring on all callers here. See, they think we don't do that.
That's funny.
What's up, man?
Caller of the week.
How you doing?
What's up, Vinny?
I'm fine. I'm not as pessimistic. I'm frustrated, but I'm optimistic.
Tell me why you're optimistic. Let's hear this.
Tell me why you're frustrated.
Well, I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I want to look at it from a realistic perspective. You're probably not getting Lamar. I'm not big on the Brady's washed. Rodgers is like they're not going to trade him, and also, do you really want to have that short of a window because he's almost in his 40s? So how much time do you think he really has left of playing quality football? And I look at it from the perspective that Derek Carr is the best option out there.
Okay. So are you trading for him?
And this is true. If you look right now, according to the same guy who broke the Mike LaFleur being let go news, the Jets and Derek Carr have mutual interest in each other.
Oh, wonderful. So are we trading for him, or are we going to wait till he gets cut?
Well, if they have mutual interest, I'm going to probably guess Carr will probably. Well, if it's true that he wants to come to the Jets, if it's true that he has interest in the Jets, I think it'd probably be smarter for him to probably wait till he gets cut so that he doesn't cost them any picks.
So you know why he says that? Can I tell you why he says that?
Bidding war,
because when he becomes a free agent, multiple teams are going to be interested, and you can use certain teams like the Jets as leverage to get a higher payday.
Jets are always leverage.
I'm going to ask you, what team is he going to go to? The Saints are in cap hell. Washington's committed to Sam Howell. The Colts are going to.
You honestly believe that?
Stop it.
You think Washington's going to make Sam Howell their quarterback? Are you for real?
I've seen the reports on that.
And every report you read is accurate, right? They're always right.
Okay. And also, come on, do you think he really wants to go to Dan Snyder?
Think he wants to go to Woody Johnson?
Woody Johnson's light years above Dan Snyder, and you have no idea what that owner is going to be.
I'd rather go to Buccaneers and play for them.
Dan Snyder's there, and then when he's gone, you have no idea what you're going to get. Of the teams that are viable options for him, the Jets are the most stable.
Compared to who? So the Titans, the Buccaneers?
The Titans just had a power struggle. You just saw the coach go through a power struggle with the GM and force him out the door.
Still there. Still a respectable coach.
And they just hired a pretty prominent name from the Niners organization.
What about the Buccaneers? The Buccaneers got stability. They got rid of Leftwich. They got a lot of
playmakers. Do you think he really wants to follow up Tom Brady? Like, do you think he really wants to follow up the greatest quarterback of all time?
Just it's good opportunity, man. We got Mike Evans, you got Godwin, you got a lot of playmakers down there.
Inept boob Todd Bowles at head coach.
Hey,
what?
I'm saying there's other options.
Call him a boob.
He's an inept boob.
What about the Colts?
They're a disorganized dumpster fire who has a top 5 pick. How many times have they been burned on the quarterback carousel? They're finally in the position to draft a young quarterback. You think they're gonna say, you know what? We've already been burned 1,000 times on the quarterback carousel. And even though we have a top 5 pick, let's try it again. Maybe 1,001 times won't burn us.
That's why the Colts should go with a veteran quarterback.
Oh yeah. By the way, if I didn't say it, hi Elmo.
There you go.
So Vinny, was it true that you went on Jake Aspen's show stoned out of your mind?
I had one hit. I had a couple hits off a joint. That's about it.
I mean, it's a maintenance program. I understand that.
Well, look. I'll tell you the story. I was venting and I was frustrated. I was at my uncle's house for New Year's party. We went out to the game. We were watching the game. I was venting and frustrating. My aunt smoked, so she didn't want me to be grouchy the whole day there. She's telling me to relax. It's just the game. I say, fuck it, I need this shit, and I just took a couple hits to calm down.
We don't judge, man. Listen.
Wait, first it was one hit. It was a couple hits.
We don't judge, man. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And then because I'm tired of seeing the Derek. Also, I'm tired of seeing in the comments the Derek Carr cold weather shit. You want to know why Derek Carr struggles in cold weather?
His hands get cold.
Because he's not acclimated to the climate. He spends 90% of his time in Oakland and in Las Vegas.
Acclimatization. I've heard of heat acclimatization before, where you got to get acclimated to the heat and slowly get your body ready for the heat. We need cold acclimatization for Derek Carr.
I mean, he hasn't adjusted to the climate. He spends most of the time in Vegas. How much time do you actually practices in cold weather every year?
So what is that? So now, don't you get acclimated the day of the game? You go out there early, you warm up, you get used to the conditions?
That's not enough.
Are you serious right now, bro? You cannot be serious.
You want to hear a story?
No.
I'm going to tell you this. You know where my grandmother was born?
Ukraine.
Caguas, Puerto Rico. She lived there till she was 14, and she moved to New York.
Can she play quarterback?
My grandmother can't even feel her leg. My grandmother can't even stand up without assistance. She screams in pain every time you try to pull her up. She's 91.
Okay, so
God bless.
so now you're gonna make a point because that she grew up in Puerto Rico, she can't get acclimated to the cold in New York, right?
She acclimated to the cold. The thing is, humans have been adapting to different climates for 10,000 years.
Okay.
You want to know what to say? You know who else had the same issue in cold weather?
Dan Marino.
Peyton Manning.
He wore gloves.
Before he went to Denver, he was 2-5 in sub-freezing games.
Okay.
8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Right.
You know his first sub-freezing. You know what he did in his first sub-freezing game in Denver?
He got cold.
He threw for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. You want to know why?
You wore gloves.
Because he was practicing in the cold. The longer you stay, the more frequent you are with the cold weather, the more you
But
get.
see, here's the question I have though. You're acting like Derek Carr's coming to Alaska to play. From September to December, the weather is warm. So how is he gonna get acclimated? The weather's warm all these times.
It's cold in November. It gets colder in October, November, December, and you're practicing the whole week in the cold. You're gonna get used to it.
Inside though.
Yeah, they practice inside. When it's real cold, at least they do.
So basically, in summary, you're saying Derek Carr will be good because he's going to practice in the cold here.
Yeah.
Or just give him gloves.
What about his feet?
You guys are gonna make me finish this entire bottle of Coquito, aren't you?
No, listen.
You're
We
gonna make us
never
finish.
encourage excessive drinking. We never encourage excess smoking. We think just do what's best for yourself, man. We live in a positive vibes only world, and we don't encourage any abnormal behavior. Are you impressed, Prime Time? Look at that line right there. See?
Professional.
Have a good night, man. Oh, you just fell asleep. Did you fall asleep just now?
I think he did.
I did not. Have a good.
Oh, he fell asleep. Get out of here.
That was the first.
What the fuck are we
Oof.
doing?
Oh, that was rough.
Brutal.
That was rough.
What's up, Lee?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Seriously.
Tough act to follow right there.
Yeah, I got to rant about Woody for like a couple minutes before I get into
Floor is yours.
Before I get into this quarterback issue. So it's funny. I have season tickets. I'm all the way up in 340. Once again, I don't know why, in God's name, I have them because I've had them for 2 years now, and it's going great. This guy is literally out of his mind. He's like saying that he's walking around like the parking lot. Up until this year, there literally was no one in the parking lot. So like, who is this man? Like, literally, who is this man talking to? Last year in the first Mike White game in Cincinnati, I know that was last year. I took my girlfriend. It was the first game she's ever been to in football. I was like, this is great. Like, it's a football game. There's gonna be so many people here. It ended up being a sick game, but like, there was literally no one in, like 0 people in the stands. Like, and the only time people are there is when it's like Bills Mafia or Dolphins fans. They're freaking like MetLife takeover. So like, this guy is out of his mind. And Kevin, Primetime, like, I know that you're trying to release this call, but like, what are they telling you? Like, what are they asking you to get some tickets?
That's Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
what are
they
like,
called me twice. They called me a week ago. I didn't answer. I sent a voicemail, and then today they called back again. But now I'm going to call back. When I call back, I'm going to film the whole conversation and play for you guys. Because what are they going to sell me?
what are they saying? Like, these idiots, man.
What are they going to sell? They lost 6 games in a row. They have no quarterback. They have no coordinator. They have more questions than answers. What exactly are you offering me to buy tickets?
Price increase.
100%. And what I wanted to get to was like kind of like the dynamic between Woody and Saul, how like he's always kind of like, I feel like ruined these regimes because he puts his foot in too fast.
Yep.
And like the whole year you hear Saul being like, there's no instant coffee. There's no instant coffee, which is like, come on, like a cappuccino doesn't take that long to make. Like it takes 5 minutes. That's not instant coffee. Dable comes in, playoffs. Peterson comes in, playoffs. And like you say, all right, there's no instant coffee, but then he's like, all right, well, now we need a quarterback right now. So it's like, wait, you do want instant coffee.
Bingo.
So my fear, and I don't know, you guys can talk about this, is like, I think he's just good. And going back to tying that no one's in the stands, I don't think he's going to go for a quarterback that like maybe is guaranteed to win us a lot of games. A salary aside, I think he's going to go for a quarterback that's just going to fill the stands. Like, what if Woody thinks, oh, Baker Mayfield, we're going to be sold out. This is going to be great. I don't care how many games you win. I need people in the stands to get on prime time, to get people like Tony Romo and Chris Collinsworth like talking about us. Like, that's my concern, is that he's like, fuck the wins. Like, I just want the stands filled. So I want to hear like your guys' thoughts on what you think about that.
The problem I would say is that I think there's only 2 guys that you could really sell like that, and that's Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. Maybe
Correct.
Derek Carr. The other guys, like I don't think you can sell Baker Mayfield.
Like Derek Carr for like hardcore guys, like, oh, like he's a good quarterback, but you know, like your average dude who's like only comes when the Patriots are in town or when they're like 7-3. It's like, oh, Derek Carr, like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So you
Derek
probably
Carr.
have 2 guys that you could really sell. The rest of the guys that are out there, like
Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers. That's it.
You're not selling Baker Mayfield.
And I hate to say this, you know, who you can
Tannehill or
also
any of these
sell.
other guys.
You know, who you can also. I know we're not going to get him. CJ Stroud.
Not happening.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, once again, right? This is like that same kind of Sanchez, Darnold, like, you know, Zach. It's
even
like
if
quarterback. Let's get the fans in for the first 2 games.
Even if they somehow got Stroud or Bryce Young, they trade up with the Bears, they get the number 1 pick. Even if that happens, there is 0 chance you're seeing that rookie on the field anywhere in the first like 8 or 9 games. There's no chance. After what happened with Darnold and Zach Wilson, there's no chance you're seeing that rookie play in the first.
And just to reiterate, Zach Wilson's first home game as a pro wasn't sold out.
Yeah, no, I know. that was like the first game I had season tickets.
So Jet fans, they're not going to.
Yeah,
Jet fans aren't going to buy tickets for a rookie quarterback, dude. They're
and
going to spend money on a quarterback.
Like I know we're in New York, and it's like there's fans of every team. I mean, the Bills game this year. I mean, that's like a big game. Sure, we obviously, you know, the game before the Patriots, the one game that there was 90% Jets fans there. You know, that's when we lay the egg. But then this next game, like I was there with like my friend. He's a Giants fan, but like, you know, I took him, and like literally I'm up in 340, so it's like 30-yard line behind the other team's bench. I'm not saying like 60 to 70% of the fans were Bills fans. The entire section was Bills Mafia. Like, does Woody, like, I literally think he doesn't care who's there.
No, he doesn't.
I literally think he just wants to see the field.
Believe. Think about it. Think about it. The Jets they knew that the stadium was 40% full of Bills fans, and they were proud to boast the game was sold out. So it wasn't Jet fans flying in the fucking stadium. It was Bills. Like, they sold the game out with opposing fans.
It makes no difference to Woody Johnson who's in that stadium.
And I'm from Miami, so like I got a lot of friends that are Dolphins fans. So I see like, you know, the MetLife takeover BS, you know, and like every single person that I grew up with, went to high school with, you know, went to freaking Jewish day school with when I was 10 years old, they were all at this Dolphins game. And it's like, yeah, you know, the Jets had a decent showing, and, you know, it was great that they ended up winning, but it's like, come on, guys. Like, really? Like, you go to any other stadium, and even the Thursday night game, like, yeah, I get it was a little bit cold, but like the stadium was 20% full at kickoff. Like, I get, you know, whatever, New York City, like people work, like that's a freaking joke. Like, come on. Like, how
the last 2 home games with playoff hopes on the line, the Lions game and the Jaguars game, the
Green Bay, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Oh, by the way, I mean, you guys know they're colder than New York.
Yep, like, Seattle. Yep.
It was supposed to be 22 degrees. Like, yeah, I know, whatever, it was raining. It was 45 to 50 degrees. Like, really? Like, this is a must-win game, and you have 20% of the stadium filled? Like, how, if you're Woody Johnson, like, how are you looking people in the face and saying there's excitement? Like, how are you even doing that? Like, who's listening to this guy? Like, it's not a hypothetical. Like, literally, who is listening to this guy?
So you got to explain the pictures of the dogs behind you.
It's actually my one dog that, you know, in my Miami house, like my parents' house. My mom just took like pictures of his snout, sending me. Yeah. It's pretty badass, actually.
Awesome.
I like it.
Thanks for
Yeah.
calling, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate
no, I
it.
appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate it.
Good
Have a
talking,
good night.
man. Nice rant.
Yeah.
That was good.
That
I
might be
love
call of the
it.
week.
Anybody wants to call and rip the owner? I'm always down for that.
Love that.
We'll go to this guy. Said Richard looks all professional and shit. What's up, man?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, you got the fucking full
got a better
professional
setup than
podcast
me.
loop. Yeah.
Yeah, I play a lot of video games. It's really it. It's really it. I don't know where to start. I have no idea. Ticket thing, not renewing. I think 2 years ago was 500 for my one seat. I'm 4 seats from prime time. I sit right next to Petey.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm right there. It was 500 2 years ago. Went up to 550 last year. Now it's up to 675 this year. 550 to 675. And it's a shitty stadium. It's miserable. It rained. Like, we're in the rain, obviously. It's brutal, dude.
And the sight line on our seats is terrible too. You got the advertisement that they have that's hanging over.
Oh, the MetLife thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really get in my way too much. I know that, like, the people under me, it was definitely in their way, and they literally had to move their seats over. But
Ridiculous.
it's brutal, dude. It's just brutal. I want to claw my eyes out watching Zach Wilson. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, there's people in the comments and the Twitter and everything else like that. Oh, Zach Wilson all year, dude. And no, they're not there, like, ripping their eyes out watching this kid.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, it's going to cost so much money, and it can go really good or really bad. He's apparently really loved. And I don't know if he'd bring that positivity to New York. It can go either way. You know,
I think he would. I think he'd be a fan favorite instantly. I think he does a lot for charity, great player, a lot of good things. Just he's got to stay healthy and win games. That's all it really
that's
matters.
what it'd be all
dude.
about.
and if he gets injured, it's going to go south like real quick. If there's one thing I learned though this year, or really got an education on, it's coaching and how Adam Gase was another story. It's almost like they act like we don't know what we're seeing, and we're just like sitting there like, what is going on? And watching Dayball do what he's doing and watching all these other experienced coaches do what they're doing, offensive coordinator, we're all sitting here like, who? Like
watching Brock Purdy, dude. Brock Purdy with the 49ers.
That's a whole nother Skylar Thompson. Yeah, dude, when it comes to our coaching in general, our coaching, terrible. It's just, bro, you're watching Skylar Thompson, you're watching Danny Dimes turn it around, which, in fact, I'm even saying Danny Dimes after I talk shit about him for 4 years.
Me too, dude. Me too.
Are you kidding me?
Everyone wrote him off.
Are you kidding me, dude? Like, it is not good. It's just not good. And this isn't going to go anywhere.
So who do you want a quarterback? Who are your top 3 options?
I mean, it has to be just Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, and Jimmy G. And Jimmy G gets injured every year, but we'll do it because we're desperate. Derek Carr, I'll cry at the post-game press conferences with him probably, just like I do now. I'll have another person with me. I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do? Lamar Jackson might get injured. That's the best option, and you're going to have to sacrifice everything for him. And then if it doesn't work out, we are absolutely screwed. And then
it's so if somebody said give them your overall state of the Jets, like what's the state of the franchise right now? What would you say?
I don't see anything good. I'm just completely depressed and just baffled at how bad this has gone. Really, like Robert Salah first year, thought maybe it would be something, but after watching the coaching and the situational football on a regular basis, it is terrible. It is horrible, and the offense needs a complete change, man. Then you have to deal with the offensive line, the most. We're all about culture, and it's like the most toxic offense I've ever you're even seeing all year. I mean, what are we doing?
And not for nothing, trying to come back off a collapse like that, losing 6 games to close out the year. Like I still remember, I said this in one of my videos a few weeks ago. Like, I still remember when the Mets had those collapses back in 2007 and 2008, and Francesa was all over. He's like, "You can't bring this team back after the first one. You can't bring this team back. That kind of collapse that's going to linger." And ultimately, it did, and it cost Willie Randolph his job, and eventually, Beltran, Delgado, all those guys were out. And you wonder if the same thing's going to happen now. Like, how much credibility and respect has Salah lost in that locker room?
I don't know if he's really lost. I don't really know if he's lost a lot. But one other thing I do want to bring up before I go is I literally bought, when it comes to receipts, I have a custom Joe Douglas jersey. Okay, Jay Douglas, year 19 when he came in. Like, I have a custom Joe Douglas jersey, and now I'm just like, dude, I don't know. Like anybody could have really made those draft picks if you ask me. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when you have that many in the first round, I don't know.
That's really the only thing that's saving his job right now.
But what I want to get to is the mediocre talent that comes in here on a regular. Rashard Perryman, like all these crappy free agents. They're like mediocre talent.
Corey Davis.
Trying to be, oh God, Butterfingers, dude. This guy's dropping every ball. It is mind-blowing what happens here. It is mind-blowing.
Even Barrios fell apart this year. Barrios was like reliable.
And that's another guy that we signed, but everybody wanted him signed, so let's be real.
The problem with Douglas in free agency is that he takes this approach of like being strategic and in theory giving out good value contracts. We're not going to pay the top tier guys. They pay the middle tier guys, but those contracts add up when you sign 3 or 4 of them, and you're getting no production out of a lot of them.
It's middle tier guys hoping to get the best out of them, and let's be honest, it doesn't happen.
I would trade those,
especially in our wide
receiver contracts that they're getting nothing out of right now to have 3 or 4 prominent players.
It's brutal, man.
Well, I mean, they had to spend some money to try to get players here because nobody wanted to come here, and now they just lost 6 games in a row.
I don't think that's going to be that negative on the team, and when it comes to like perception and like what we're how other
your marketing tool is Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. That's going to be your 2 marketing tools,
right? The offensive line needs to get fixed. When it comes to QB, I have no clue. And then when it comes to defense, I'm not really there yet. I mean, that's just something we're not even like coming close to talk to. And when it comes to CJ Mosley, I only noticed the bad things. I never really noticed the good things, to be honest with you. And when it comes to this defense, now that we're like just briefly, it's how much cushion are you going to give all these teams, dude? Let's just give them the first down. As long as we don't give them 30 yards, so let's give them every first down possible and not completing a tackle. Wrap your arms around them, bring them down. It's always just these little bumps and little things. Happens all the time. And
see, my biggest concern is after the bye, when the teams had time to look at the Jets, figure out what they're doing on defense, they attacked the defense differently, and the defense didn't adjust to it.
Yeah. And real quick, just Sauce Gardner, I think, should have had a lot more pass interferences. My personal opinion is I think that he got away with a lot.
Come on, man. That's impossible. Jets never get calls.
I know. But
we didn't get one roughing the
I'm just saying.
all year.
Well,
Mike White literally died.
I don't even want to get into the Joe Beningo theory of
Mike White literally died and we got no calls.
I don't know. Anyway,
thanks for calling, man.
I have no hope, dude, but I love you guys. I watch you guys all the time, like throughout the day and everything. But no
appreciate
hope.
It, man.
Have a good day.
Have a good night.
I'm glad somebody's as negative as I am, man, because I know I'm getting torn to shreds.
I got one I got to answer here. It has nothing to do with the team. The stadium sucks.
God.
The stadium sucks. It sucks to look at. It sucks to sit in. It sucks to watch a game in. It sucks to leave the parking lot afterwards. Everything about that stadium is garbage.
Bro, all you got to do.
I've been at every single game that the Jets have played in that building. Terrible. It's terrible.
All you got to do is just go to stadiums all across the country and you realize how bad MetLife is. Like next year, everybody wants to go to the Vegas game. You want to go to a Cowboy game. You want to go to these games. All these stadiums are significantly better than MetLife, and it's not really even close. It's not. The experience is so much better everywhere else. I've been to Baltimore, Philly, Tampa, Green Bay, Dallas, all better.
Every single stadium that's been built after MetLife, completely demolished.
Shithole.
Not even close. Not even close.
Absolute shithole. Mr. Joe Cat, what's up,
Yo,
man?
what's up, fellas? How are you? How's everybody?
Are you sitting are you sitting like in a Jet store right now? What are you doing? Trying to sell like
well, I'm sitting on a wall of shame behind me, but
like a clearance sale.
Listen, I'm not as negative, believe it or not.
Hold on. You know what? First of all, is this like your podcast approach? You used to call on. You used to call in, walking around the house. We would see your kids. We would see the dog. We'd see rock concerts.
Yep.
Now we're looking at Jets jerseys.
Right.
So now you're getting all professional.
No, not professional.
Hold on. And if anybody follows you motherfuckers on your Twitter account, it's doom and gloom to the next level.
Oh yeah,
like crazy wild shit.
Oh yeah.
And now you're gonna come on here and
he's gonna blame that on Dan.
Oh no, I'm not that negative. Are you out of your mind, bro?
No, I mean, is this not expected? I mean, we're acting like this is surprising. We hired a first-time head coach, a first-time offensive coordinator, a first-time defense coordinator, and draft the second overall pick, and we all thought it was going to work. We're the assholes. That's the thing. And this team has to rip the Band-Aid off and has to get one of those 3 quarterbacks. Derek Carr will get us into the playoffs. He's a sturdy guy. He's reliable. Get it. but he's not getting us over the hump against Mahomes and Allen. He's not. And we have this tiny, tiny window right here. The thing is, all these fans are worried about money, like you can't pay your mortgage if we pay this quarterback. Fuck them. It's the fucking team. It's all the money that we spent over the years. Let them go out and spend it. We have never had a franchise quarterback on this team.
Nope.
Never. So the only way we're going to get one right now is we got it. I'll take Aaron Rodgers for 2 years. It's after June 1st, it's $15 million for 2023 is a cap hit against for the Packers. 24, it's a $24 million cap hit. He's got the opt out, but he's went on McAfee today and he said he might not be back to the Packers. But
is he coming here?
No.
Money talks.
Is Lamar Jackson coming here?
Do you think any of these guys really give a shit about winning? If you pay these people,
Rodgers, I think does.
If you pay he already won a Super Bowl. He wants to go to TV, and New York is the perfect place for him.
I don't think he wants to deal with the New York media and all the bullshit, though, dude.
You'd be surprised, man. If you have to, they have to swing for the fences. They have to.
I agree with that.
They have.
I think they will, but I
just don't know if any of the quarterbacks are going to come here.
They will. They will. They will. Money talks. You think they give a shit? It's the same thing with me getting my leg hurt at work. I'm out for 6 months, but I'm still getting paid. They don't give a fuck.
But if you're in an open market, say if you're Lamar Jackson, would you rather go to Falcons or the Jets?
I'd go whoever's giving me the most money.
Okay, so say numbers are even. Falcons money, Jets money's even. Where do you want to go?
For him, he'd probably go to I don't know.
Come on, dude. You know he's going to the Falcons.
I don't know about that. I mean, because you gotta remember, man. I mean, the offense is, if we can run it back with whatever we have on this team right now, a great quarterback will mask a lot. 100%. You putting Aaron Rodgers on here, I mean, I guess we got to keep Zach because it's a $20 million cap hit or whatever if we get rid of him. Bring Aaron Rodgers in for 2 years. Bring Tom Brady in. Jimmy Garoppolo on one fucking leg is better than any quarterback we've ever watched for this fucking team. And honestly, I say to all these Jet fans, who the fuck are we to criticize these quarterbacks? What gives us the right to poo-poo Derek Carr?
I like Derek Carr.
I like Derek Carr too, but is he going to get us past that level? No. Is he going to go into Buffalo and win? No, he'll probably go on the stand and cry like he does on the podium.
The problem is there is no perfect option. You could say, you know what? People say, well, Derek Carr doesn't play good in cold weather. He's not going to get us to the Super Bowl. Okay. No, Lamar Jackson, phenomenal player, gets hurt a lot. Not a great playoff history either.
Right. But you gotta rip the Band-Aid off and pay, guys. That's it.
So are you giving Derek Carr $40 million a year?
$40 million, yeah.
We're gonna have to. We have no choice.
You're gonna have to. I'm giving Lamar whatever he wants, guaranteed.
Problem also is you have to make that decision on Carr probably relatively soon.
Right. Right. And I don't.
February. So what if you give Carr that $40 million and now Lamar Jackson becomes available? Becomes available.
That's the trick. Is that I'm pretty sure Joe Douglas has some ties still in Baltimore that he's feeling it out, and I think it can be a thing. I think as the days go by, I think it's a real thing. I really do.
What's your max compensation you give up in draft capital to get Lamar Jackson?
Everything.
You're pulling a Mike Ditka here. You're gonna give away your entire draft class?
Yeah. What do you think? Joe Douglas is gonna hit on another draft 2 years in a row? Come on. I mean, let's call it what it is. The guy signed one free agent worth his balls. That's it. He signed DJ Reed. That's it. Not one guy he's brought on this team is worth his nutsack. So, and then we all us fans that think he's gonna have this miraculous draft like he had last time, 2 years in a row. Come on. I mean, you gotta overpay. It is what it is. If you want to, the thing is, all these people poo-poo and everything. We've never seen a franchise quarterback. We don't know what it's like to pay for a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, see, I'm not actually poo-pooing anything. I'm just
not you. I'm just saying.
I'm like at this point, I'm like whatever. Like you want to sell your soul for Lamar Jackson, I'll support it. You want to sell your soul for Derek Carr, cool. Right. I'm not as high on Jimmy G as other people are.
No. But
I just think Aaron Rodgers is a pipe dream. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But.
Listen, you get what I got a question for all the fans too. What are these draft picks in 2 years going to do me when we have to pay Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson? What are these picks worth?
Well, you got to pay Quentin Williams first.
I don't know. If Quentin Williams is asking a lot of money, he's also asking for $9 million less than Aaron Donald, and he's 80 sacks away from Aaron Donald. So I'm going to give him $9 million less than a Hall of Fame defensive tackle. because he had 12 sacks.
He's gonna get more than Leonard Williams and DeForest Buckner though.
Right, but he's for 12 sacks on 1 year. We're gonna get fleeced like that JFM guy.
All pro, dude. He's an all pro player. He's gonna get paid like that.
I got it, but I'm saying if we can find another defensive tackle, we can't find a franchise quarterback.
Unless Joe Douglas treats it like this wasn't my player, I can get a first-round pick back and then parlay that.
Send them to Baltimore with 2 first rounds and a second, and there's your franchise quarterback.
Wait. You're going to give Quinnen Williams a second-round pick and 2 first-rounders for Lamar Jackson?
Do you want a franchise quarterback?
I'm out. I'm not doing that.
Hey.
I'm not adding Quinnen into that mix. That's a lot, dude. Jesus Christ.
The money that you don't have to pay Quinnen, can go to your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but we're not bankrupt though. We don't need to do that.
Right, but I'm just saying
Lamar Jackson.
I'm just saying the future picks do us no good while we have this window.
But you still got to fill in holes. You don't want to keep building your team through free agency. You still got to use the draft to offset,
I got it, but I think they got to do whatever they got to do to get a quarterback in here, dude. Derek Carr is a great quarterback, but he's not getting us past Mahomes, Allen, and now Trevor Lawrence and Herbert. No.
You think Lamar Jackson will?
I think Lamar Jackson, at least you have to put a spy on him, and you have a quarterback for once in our franchise history that it's impossible to game plan. It's a headache to game plan for the guy. With Derek Carr's he's just Derek Carr. He's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. But does he wow me like Derek Carr?
Yeah, but if Lamar Jackson like Lamar Jackson level of elite, then why would the Ravens be getting rid of him?
Because they're done with him. It is what it is. We got to do what we got to do, guys. We got to pay. It is what it is. We can keep bringing back Mike White and all the Tannehills and Baker Mayfields. You want to keep sucking balls? Suck balls.
No, dude, listen, I'm with you. We all have the same names, dude. Rodgers, Carr, Lamar Jackson. It's pick your poison. They all have flaws. They have warts, but they're all going to be expensive as shit.
It is what it is. Not all money.
So then what are you going to do in terms of offensive coordinator?
Anyone with a pulse. Because any one of those quarterbacks can call an audible on a shitty play call.
Yeah, but would you agree that it has to be a guy that's a proven play caller?
Oh yeah, but the Jets aren't going to do that. I mean, look at these assholes look at these assholes that they're interviewing. I mean, they interviewed some guy Brady from the Colts, another unproven guy. No, it was another guy.
Well, Marcus Brady, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a circus. And you know what? If you have the franchise quarterback there, I think they should get the quarterback before the offense coordinator.
So prime time. Which Joe Cat do you like better, the walking around the house Joe Cat or the podcast Joe Cat?
I kind of like the walking around there.
I like the walker. It's 10 o'clock at night.
He's more
but
he's way too professional. He's calm. He's not flinging his arms in the air and shit. He's stupid.
I'm just being a realist. We got to pay.
I thought we were getting a rant
all the Jet fans, forget it. You would think that they're giving the Ravens
I think everybody. I think everyone knows they have to pay, and I think they're gonna try.
Yeah, but like
all these convinced to come here though.
All these
and I don't know if Joe Douglas is gonna go the extra mile either.
He has to. He has to. His job's on the line. Same thing with Saleh. Their nuts are against the wall, pal. They got to go after it, and they both know it to save their job.
This is podcast Joe Cat.
It's not podcast Joe Cat. It's just it's like I hate all the Jet fans in the comments and the fucking Twitter I'll get fired up when they sit there and they go, oh well, how much is that going to cost? Shut the fuck up. What do you can't pay your cell phone bill because you got to pay Lamar Jackson? Give it a break.
To me, I don't care about what it's going to cost. My bigger concern is people not wanting to come here. Like it's easy to say, pay $40 million a year, pay $40 million a year. I'm not so sure the Jets are a desirable location for anybody, a coordinator or a quarterback.
And I don't think it has as much to do with the money as it does the salary cap, and also the possibility of firing your head coach after a year and now trying to go through an interview process with a quarterback that candidates might not want. It's a whole nother
guys. 5% of every team wants to actually win. They don't give a fuck. They just want to get paid. It is what it is. It's a business. They want to get the biggest bag they can. Let's just call it what it is. They don't give a fuck. Watch we pay Quinnen Williams. You'll never see him hit 12 sacks again. Watch. Just like that JFM contract we got fleeced on. Watch.
Like Mo Wilkerson.
Yeah. It's the same thing. They play hard for the contract. They get the bag.
I can't wait to go on Joe Cat show. I'm gonna be all professional and shit. I'm gonna like shave. I'm gonna wear like a nice shirt and shit.
Oh, I shaved. No, listen, I shaved for date night the other night.
Well, thank you for coming on. And dude, hit me up, man. I'll come on your show. I had like that week.
Yeah,
I was
you're the worst. Dude. Yeah, let me tell you.
I was traveling.
You stood us up like a prom date.
I did.
You did?
I was traveling, dude.
I was there.
I had so many. Yeah. So how did Prime Time and Tyrone do?
They did great. It was a fun time. Zach Wilson's mother came on. You know,
I
we
heard
had
about that.
Glenn Foley on the other night. So even Glenn Foley wants Lamar Jackson.
There you go. See, you
If
don't
that-
even need me then. I'm not even missed.
No, you got to come on. I'll hit you
me up, dude. Hit me up.
I
I'll
will.
come on.
All right, buddy.
Have a good night, man.
Love you guys.
Have a good night, man.
Later, dude.
Later.
A professional Joe Cat.
Crazy.
I like to walk around the
Crazy
house much
times.
better, dude.
Me too.
He's
More
way
more
too
chaos.
he's way too organized, controlled, like breaking out stats now. He's like pulling a Tyrone, bringing out stats and shit now.
He's trying to be Afro.
Yeah.
Cap.
All right. I mean, the Quinnen Williams 2 first-round picks in a second. I wouldn't do that.
It's too much.
I wouldn't do that. Hey Tyson, do you think your fire and brimstone plan could still work? I've given up, dude. The Jets have sucked the life out of me, Carlos. They have. Like this offseason, this last like 2 weeks since the Jets lost to the Dolphins, I've been like I got nothing in me, man. I'm just miserable. Angry, miserable, and like I don't have that little go team go in me yet. So
I'm not gonna have it until they get a quarterback too.
give me a quarterback. I'll be excited. I'll even rally around Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr. I don't have the anger everybody else has about him.
I can talk myself in the car.
Yeah, I mean he'd be better than anything we've had in a long time, dude. It's just better than drafting somebody.
He should get you to the playoffs.
Should have been to the playoffs this year. No, that worked out.
Well,
yeah, they didn't break me, but give me like a week or two to come over it, and then I'll get in the free agent mode and start evaluating salary cap and contracts, and I'll start getting pissed off even more. CJ Mosley's an interesting one though. That's an interesting player.
That would have to be a late cut too.
Yep. Yo, Tyrone's listening. That's good, man. Appreciate that. That's exactly what it was. He pulled a Tyrone. All of a sudden, like Joe Cat starts getting official, starts dropping out like all kinds of like stats and contract numbers. 3 weeks ago, he's sitting around cursing and looking at guitars. So we will bring on our cleanup hitter. Don't worry, Jordan. I'm angry to the point that Afram's worried about me. Mr. Jose.
You.
My God. Elmo, Christy, Bob.
Go 49ers. Woohoo.
I'm not mad.
Yes, you are.
It's a good season.
No, I'm not.
They gave you a glimmer of hope. You thought you were going to win that game at one point. Then they just gave you reality.
No.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be closer than what it was because of the weather. And until after it was. So
there you go.
Now
you got your franchise quarterback too, which is good.
Actually,
are they bringing him back?
We might.
You're gonna get how much you give Gino? $35 million a year?
Actually, 25 to 30 for 3 years.
That's fair. I'd do that.
Yeah. Anyway,
he earned it.
Let's talk Jets, guys.
Oh Christ!
We have to.
Do you want a realistic, or do you want pipe dream?
Realistic.
Realistic. I say, hi, Jay
Jay Gruden?
Jay Glazer?
Good.
Jay Gruden?
Good.
Oh no.
Christ. I'm not high enough for this.
To be the offensive coordinator.
And then bring in John Gruden, head coach?
No, I did not.
And then we're going to bring in Taylor Heineke or something?
No. And as far as quarterback, these are your 3 realistic options. Mike White again.
I hate this fucking team.
If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, or Derek Carr, I might be on board with Mike White.
Wait, he gave us Mike White. He got 2 more.
Derek Carr.
Okay.
And then last time, it breaks my heart to say this.
Gino?
Because I hate this quarterback. Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Oh,
Tannehill?
But I think the Titans are going to get Garoppolo because their player personality is now the team's general manager, so that's a good fit for Garoppolo.
So we got Mike White, Derek Carr, and Ryan Tannehill.
I'm sorry,
Bro.
but I can't see anything else.
That's kind of what I think is going to happen, though.
I'd take Derek Carr and Mike White. Derek Carr and Mike White backs him up. I'd do that. That Mike White learned from him.
Honestly, out of all those three, I like White the most.
You like Mike White more than Derek Carr?
Derek Carr
Oh, Jesus Christ.
crashes. Derek Carr crashes the car. Way too damn. Way too damn.
I mean, when you think about it, it's probably a $25 million difference in the two quarterbacks.
That's something I said for the past
So
year.
you could have Mike White plus two starters, an offensive lineman and a receiver or something like that.
If you give the keys,
Chemistry with the wideouts.
if you give the keys to Derek Carr, he will crash the
Why am I a Jet fan? Why? Why does this happen? I don't understand. We're having what's today's date? January 17th. We're doing Derek Carr jokes.
You got to wonder if maybe they're telling themselves, you know what? If not for the rib injury, this guy might have taken us to the playoffs. Let's run it back. Let's put him in a new system.
You're talking about Mike White.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The same theory that we're saying with Zach, maybe a new system, a new voice is going to reinvent him. Imagine what a new coordinator, new system might do for Mike White. You get another receiver in here.
I hate you for this, Jose. I hate you for even bringing this shit up. He did it on purpose. I know he did. This is torture.
If they don't get the top three, why the hell not?
I asked which one you wanted.
I'll take Derek Carr to those three.
No, I asked you if you wanted realistic.
Well, the pipe dream, everybody's saying the pipe dream is Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. I don't think either one of them happened.
That is the pipe dream. That is a freaking pipe dream.
We need a pipe just so we can dream.
Speaking of pipes.
Uh-oh.
Can I talk about Geno Smith for a second?
Sure, why not?
You're going to say your ex-girlfriend.
If you told me before the season started that Geno Smith would be a starting quarterback in a playoff game for the Seahawks, I would have told you were on crack.
I agree.
You guys are supposed to be tanking.
Yep.
The Broncos did that for us.
Exactly.
Gave us a top 5 pick.
Unbelievable.
Lucky bastards.
Jose, good talking to you, man.
Hey, Tyson, how was Florida?
Florida was awesome, dude. Florida was tremendous, man. Beautiful weather, great food, great drinks, great company, shitty football.
Did you catch up with Jomo and Jay?
I hung out with Jay a couple nights. Jomo was sick, actually. Jomo blew me off. And then I caught up with tequila and beer and a lot of sun.
Nice.
Phenomenal food. No, I had a good time with Jay. Went to the Hard Rock, went to the casino. We had fun.
This is happening.
Oh, yeah.
You better get ready.
Wrap out.
Oh, yeah.
2.0.
I'm going to do a little Tupac this year.
Oh, you're going Tupac. All right.
You better practice.
Okay.
Oh,
I got something ready for you. Don't worry.
And I know it's something I'm doing already.
What song are you doing?
Don't tell him, Jose. You gotta surprise him. Don't tell him.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
I got a few choices that I'm debating.
And I got two. All right, guys.
Have a great night, Jose.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
With help from you, I am 11 subs away from 700. So
there you go.
Nice.
Awesome. There you go, dude.
As soon as I get better from this cough I will post regularly again.
Don't worry, you still post more than Primetime does, so don't worry about it.
I do better.
Have a good night, Jose. Love you too, man.
Love you, man.
All right, prime time. A show of doom and gloom. I can't wait for the feedback tomorrow. I'm sure it's gonna be like you guys are negative as always. But,
Deserved.
so I guess what do you want to do? We'll just do Tuesday shows going forward, just because no sense doing 2 days a week. There's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah, unless there's any news, yeah, we could just do Tuesdays. It's fine.
Breaking news when the Jets hire like an offensive line coach or something.
When they hire their next OC, that's a former quarterback coach with no experience.
And I'll make sure I film my conversation with Jets ticket office too. Make sure we
That
can
I'm
watch
waiting
that.
for. That I'm
Yeah,
waiting for.
That'd be a fun time. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later.